Leafs and Sharks tonight. The biggest story for the Maple Leafs this week was clearly the reports around William Nylander and the contract and what might be coming and what is at least being discussed. How much was that woven through the narrative and storyline and environment down there in California this week? Is it something that's also got the attention of the Maple Leafs themselves?
Well, it's gotten the attention of the reporters. We were talking about, there was the one day off we had in California. We're just like, please don't sign. Don't make us work today. But, it's interesting. There is a feeling that things are inching closer, but it's not done yet. And I asked William Nylander about the reports, and, he just said, I told you guys, I'm not talking about it. But the way he said it, he was like kind of giggling and laughing, and there was a lightheartedness to it. He could have said, don't believe everything you hear, or he could have shut it down, but sometimes it's not what they say, it's how they say it. And the way he said it kind of led me to believe that things are trending in a positive direction. Then after that Anaheim game, I saw Brad Treliving go up to him and give him kind of like a big slap on the back and a half hug, and I was like, uh-oh. And someone looked at me and was like, don't read into that.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. But you don't always see GMs, embrace players after games. So definitely they're on friendly terms, and I think it's a positive sign. It's just about drilling down on the number. Nylander has to sign off on the number. There's never been any doubt that he wants to remain a Leaf, and I don't think there's ever been any doubt that the Leafs want to keep him. And just through his excellent performance, his price just went up.
Is there any doubt that he'll be a representative at the NHL All-Star weekend here in Toronto?
Zero. Mm-hmm. He'll be there. Mm-hmm. Whether the fans vote him in or someone backs out late and they need a replacement, I'm pretty confident he'll be there. I've covered a number of All-Star games, and often the host city ends up having 3 or 4 guys. And some of it is because, you want to build it up in that local market. And the other aspect is, there's always 1 or 2 guys that backs out late and they scramble for a replacement, and they often go turn and grab guys that are with the home team. So I'd be shocked if he's not there. And it's kind of, a shame he's never been to one. That's what happens when you play on a loaded team. It took Mitch Marner a while to get to one, just because Austin's been always the first pick.
What's the order of go for you? Is it going Matthews, Nylander, and then Marner, Riley, Marner? It should be Tavares.
They have Tavares
thrown
on
in
the
there.
vote too.
Like if it goes to 3, who should be the 3
Simon
Maple
Benoit?
Leafs All-Stars?
Simon Benoit. No, Nylander number 2 for me for sure. And Marner's, he can still make plays. He's putting up points, but I would put Riley ahead of him. Morgan Riley's never been to one. I think it would be really cool for Morgan Riley to get that nod. I think he's been incredibly consistent. Plus, he has the production, and it'd be frightening to think where this blue line would be if he hadn't been on his game through the first 35 games or whatever it is now.
I got one more for you here, Luke, before we let you go. Great article about, and we were kind of joking about Simon Benoit, but he's become maybe the most beloved Leaf over the last...
Getting some shine on the Leaf socials of late.
Yep, he got a Get to Know Me. He's got a Luke Fox article up on sportsnet.ca. So what do we need to know about him other than he's kind of a goofy guy, a bit of a grinder, but he's won the hearts of a lot of Leaf fans over the last stretch?
Yeah, and he's one of my favorite Leafs to talk to, just because he's himself. I remember the first conversation I had with him out in the parking lot behind the practice facility during training camp, and he was he had some back spasms, and he was behind. He was probably on the 5th or 6th pair at training camp, and it looked like totally destined for the Marlies. And he was like, "I'm not worried. I'm gonna get a spot here." And I just love that confidence. And he, I said, where does that come from? And I was like, does that have to do with, maybe being undrafted and always having to prove yourself? And he said, yeah, I wasn't fed with a silver spoon. And I just love that kind of I'm going to earn my way here. I'm going to find out how to fit. and he does something that so few of the blue liners the Maple Leafs have do, right? Like, he plays a very simple game. Like, sometimes he just bangs it off the glass and gets it out. But he's improved with the more ice time he's got. He's stuffing out cycles. He broke up that 2-on-1 against the Ducks beautifully by sprawling out. He's a big body, and Sheldon Keefe likes him more and more. Sheldon Keefe secretly really wants some physicality, and we know Brad Treliving does. And the Leafs, quite frankly, don't have a lot of Benoit. So you factor in the point that he makes so little money, and fans always love that, right? Because it's a guy over-delivering for his price point. And it's kind of cool that he's quickly become a fan favorite here.
I like this quote. I can't score a bleeping goal, but I can hit some guys for you. Yeah, he seems really down to earth.
The silver spoon line. I mean, that's a good one. That's a good one, too.
That's a good one. Well, Luke, we'll let you run. Appreciate you calling in all the way from the West Coast. Enjoy the rest of your trip, and we'll definitely chat sometime next week or next couple weeks. We'll let you recover.
Okay. Thanks, okay. Enjoy the game.
Thanks so much. Bye. Luke Fox of Sportsnet, of course, on the West Coast as the Leafs take on San Jose Sharks.
Don't make any promises. We might be calling him next week.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I don't want to put in. He's not going to answer, but we might call him.
We'll call you soon, Luke.
Keep your phone on, volume up. That is a really great article, though. You got to check it out at sportsnet.ca. Now I'm a Leafer. Why they should re-sign Simon Benoit. And I think everybody's on the same boat with this one. He had the belt the other night. He's fighting. He's kind of, tongue-in-cheek about his role, but he's owning it. And the Maple Leafs don't have a defenseman like him. I don't know the last time they had a defenseman like him, right? So it's been a really nice blessing in disguise in the sense of, like, you had to find some bargain bin guys, and Brad Treliving deserves a lot of credit because between him, Martin Jones,
Noah Gregor,
Legason, who, he's not as, I guess,
he did a job,
right
though.
now.
He did a job for this team.
It's been a pretty good, cheap roster additions from him.
Yeah, I think you can quibble with the big money signings more than you can with the lower cost entries. And I've completely warmed up to the idea that Jake McCabe and Simone Benoit should be the third pair for this team when it matters the most. That means only one defenseman would have to come in unless you're going Gio Liljegren second pair, but that doesn't scream second pair to me. I just think Simone Benoit is kind of the perfect number 6 for this team right now. I think number 6 defensemen scratched off the list, and they got 7, 8, 9, I think, too. Like this, the depth isn't really an issue. It's about putting that one player into the top 4 that kind of changes how it all feels. But right now, I think Simone Benoit has played his way into a pretty important spot for this team.
Benoit and McCabe would be a pretty physical, gritty, tough line.
And McCabe has been really good since John Klingberg has been
definitely
unavailable.
Definitely,
he was struggling there in that Klingberg pairing, but I just think I think McCabe is best suited as a bottom pair, and I think Simone Benoit is obviously a bottom pairing guy, even though he's going to be playing middle pairing tonight with McCabe, I guess. But I just feel like those two could give you something that could soak up semi-sheltered minutes, but do a job for this team against tough competition, be tough. I think it's a good pairing between those two.
We brought it up with Luke, but we didn't give our takes on it. But the NHL All-Star Game here in Toronto in about a month, less than a month. Obviously, Austin Matthews was already chosen, and he's going to be one of the captain representatives. Same with Connor McDavid, of course. But let's say there's only space for 2 more Leafs, because 4 seems like a lot of Leafs. And there's only 12 more spots open right now to the voting for the public, because 32 were announced. It's Nylander, but I mean, it kind of feels like it has to be Marner. But Riley makes a really strong case. Like, you don't get a lot of defensemen in All-Star games, but he's quietly had like one of his best seasons. He's been so important on the back end. But it feels like it would be a problem to not have Mitch Marner in the All-Star game, and maybe more of a problem for him than it would be for anyone else. And he would probably get most share of the votes. But yeah, it's there's not a lot of extra spots and not a lot of room for the fans to be voting in multiple Leafs. And I think it's obviously Nylander, but it's him and who?
Yeah, I mean, it could be him and no one because there's only so many spots left. But I do believe that William Nylander, it would be a crime if he's not there.
No, he's going to be there.
And I'm with Luke, where I do think Morgan Riley deserves. He should be able to preface his name with NHL All-Star before his career's over. I mean, Morgan Riley is as important to what it means to be a Maple Leaf over the last decade as anyone, I would suppose. except maybe Austin Matthews. It would be rich. I'll just put it this way: richly deserved if Morgan Riley was able to represent the Maple Leafs in an All-Star game played in Toronto. I think that would be very appropriate.
I think it's perfect. How many D so far do you think have been selected in the first 32 players?
Well, there was only one, right, in the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
Heiskanen was named, but probably can't go now because he's hurt. I'll just say 4.
There's 2 defensemen only.
2 defensemen
Quinn
only.
Hughes and Rasmus Dahlin.
Yeah, so it's. I think they could litter a couple rosters with. It is 5-on-5.
Someone needs to
right?
play defense.
The game is going to be 5-on-5, right?
I believe so. Unless they change
maybe
that
it's
on
not.
us.
If they didn't pick any defensemen, how could it be 5-on-5?
Well, I mean, someone's got to, stand around and block some shots.
It's going to be an interesting All-Star game if there are literally no defensemen playing.
Well, the fans want to see goals, so I understand.
And the fans want to see Morgan Riley.
I think they do. On the other side of the break, we'll give you the lines for tonight's game. We told you it's going to be Martin Jones in net against his former team, a team that has lost 10 in a row. See if he can shut the door. We might have him as our player to watch as well, so stay tuned. On the other side of the break, we'll get you ready for Puck Drop. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick single-family homes come with a long list of features you've always dreamed of. Gourmet kitchens, freestanding tubs, and even fully finished lower levels. Dare to compare and you'll see why it's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Unhibernate, a verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage, I am going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Ontario is building up our nursing workforce. Since 2018, over 60,000 new nurses have registered to work in Ontario. Last year alone, Ontario added over 15,000 new nurses, a record year. Across the province, there's another 30,000 nursing students in school. We're investing millions in new programs that pay for nurses' schooling, books, and equipment, and attracting highly trained nurses from around the world by breaking down barriers so they can get to work sooner. See all the ways we're connecting you to care. Ontario.ca/yourhealth, paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Carrie Underwood brings you a brand new way to work out. Just in time for your New Year's resolution. It's not just cardio, it's cardio.
A playlist that gets you ready to work out, gets you in the zone. I like stuff that I can either dance to or that I can get mad with.
High energy tracks you can sweat to. Plus, fitness tips from Carrie and her trainer. Cardio by Carrie's Country. Now in the Sirius XM app. Free with all trials and popular plans.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
With Brad Treliving, general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs. How would you describe your season?
We've been able to put some points in the bank here, knowing that we're capable of playing much better. You know, that's sort of our focus right now is trying to get a little more consistent in our game and getting our team up to a little higher level of play.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
That you can get better by getting worse. Bye-bye Laine. Bye-bye Pierre-Luc Dubois. Bye-bye Blake Wheeler. They might have gone from a club to a team. The Jets are better without those guys, maybe, than they've ever been in Atlanta or Winnipeg with Byfuglien and Trouba and everybody else.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores.
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it, there's a chance, rebound, Caulfield, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Taxes extra. This is Molson Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert here for your pregame and intermissions. We got Leafs on the road in San Jose. Their final game of 3 on the road in Cali. West Coast has been good to them so far. 2 wins. They have a weird trend here where they either win all 3 or lose all 3. So tonight could continue that trend, or we could just throw everything in the paper shredder.
And it's alternating years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Winning all 3, losing all 3. They lost all 3 last year. Almost got Sheldon Keefe fired, at least. That's what some people thought. And now they're in the position to win all 3 against clearly one of the lesser lights of the NHL. 2 losing streaks of 10-plus games. They've currently lost 11 in a row. They're just, they're not a great team. They might be a historically bad team in the San Jose Sharks. But again, Leafs have had trouble against bad teams throughout the balance of this season. We were joking about it last hour. It's kind of the final boss. It's the worst of the bad teams. If that's been a bugaboo all year, what would the worst team in the NHL do to you?
I don't want to find out.
I think we should throw that out. I think the Maple Leafs should handle the San Jose Sharks. They've even got them to change the time. They're playing at 4 p.m. on the West Coast because the Maple Leafs and Hockey Night in Canada, it's all on the Maple Leafs terms. They just got to make sure they dictate terms tonight.
Yeah, a couple things to consider. Yes, it's an earlier game. If you're thinking the trap game strategy, here's why you could buy into that. An earlier game, they had 2 days off in California. They've already won 2 games. They know they're about to fly home and play the same team again on Tuesday night. Martin Jones he'll be starting his 3rd game in a row with Dennis Ilderby on the bench. The Maple Leafs, unfortunately, have not had a great record against the lowest teams in the NHL. The Sharks are the lowest team in the NHL. They have a goal differential of minus 81, which is the worst in the NHL since 94-95. All of those things considered, the Maple Leafs showed a different fight, I believe, on Wednesday night when they played the Anaheim Ducks. They put over 100 pucks towards the net. They ended up with 57 shots on goal, and they found a way to beat that team when Lucas Dostal was having a career night, and it looked like, oh boy, here we go again. So they found a way. They won on Wednesday, and now they're coming in with some maybe momentum, maybe just some expectation that they should steamroll the worst team in the NHL. So we might see that tonight, but there's always in the back of your mind when you watch Maple Leafs games that it could be a trap.
And it does feel like some things are crystallizing too. And it's always, I mean, we were talking about this being a work in progress from the very start of the season. I mean, we knew it was going to be that way when it looked like you were short on defense and you didn't know where all these new pieces were going to land. But it seems like things are coming into focus for this Leafs team, at least from a roster construction standpoint. I mean, that top line with Matthews and Marner is back together after a brief hiatus. And yeah, they belong together. They deserve to be together. They are on this team to play together. But this second line is working too. And Bertuzzi and Nylander have formed this kinship and partnership. They may be the odd couple, but they work as flanks for John Tavares. We're seeing Pontus Holmberg on the third line, so maybe that's the one that's still a little bit in doubt. But the fourth line with Bobby McMahon and Noah Gregor, on the wings for David Kampf, although David Kampf was healthy scratched a couple nights ago. It just feels like they're inching closer and closer to what it's going to look like when they play meaningful games down the stretch. And on the back end, I mean, I think this was the week where Simone Benoit carved out a permanent or as permanent a role as you could possibly have for a 6 or 7 defenseman on this roster. It seems like he's playing great hockey. Everyone's acknowledging it. Maybe he's a guy who can be considered a solution and not a stopgap for this team. So I think they're working towards and finding things that are permanent, that are in stone, that are close to being set. And when you get those things starting to line up, maybe you start playing your best hockey when you got your ducks in a row.
They did have the Ducks on Wednesday night. No,
duck hunt.
They were duck hunting. But one thing that has been peaking and has been playing their best hockey is Martin Jones. He's going to get another start tonight. A lot of discussion about Dennis Hildeby, who's been on the road trip from the Marlies. Obviously, has had a really great season down there. A lot of excitement to maybe see the Hildebeest. But Martin Jones will get the net tonight against his former team in an arena he knows well. He deserves to. When you look at the numbers and you look at how he's come in as a third stringer for this team, against all odds, really, and without a lot of expectation, and cheap, and he's just been a pro's pro. It doesn't seem like it bothers him whatsoever. He looks like he is level-headed all the time. We talked to Luke Fox in the last half hour. He's just really liked the performance he's continuously put up. And I guess that's a good guy to learn behind if you're Dennis Hildeby, right? You probably don't want to be learning behind Ilya Samsonov right now. So if you're sitting on the road trip and you get to watch what Martin Jones has done, you should be pretty inspired. We told this to Luke, I guess, about 20 minutes ago, but Ilya Samsonov number removed from the equation, the Maple Leafs would have the best save percentage in the league at .921. So Jones and Wall, who have come in as a tandem in a sense, a 14-8-1 record with 258 goals against and .921 save percentage. The two of them have been very, very unsung heroes in a sense because Samsonov was going to be the number one starter, and now you have Martin Jones leading the way. So great to see him get another start tonight. That's 3 in a row. So eyes will be on Tuesday, but we'll deal with Tuesday when Tuesday comes.
Yeah, if Martin Jones hasn't saved the Maple Leaf season, then he's at least saved Brad Treliving from having to do something knee-jerk and drastic to get a goaltender who may or may not be any good in to play meaningful games for this team. I mean, we talked about Bertuzzi and how he's forming a great partnership with William Nylander. We talked about Simone Benoit maybe being a guy here. Talk about any of the additions for Brad Treliving, but I don't think any of them measure up when compared to what Martin Jones, as a third-string goaltender who was paid an extra $100,000 so that no one would touch him when he had to go through waivers. I mean, that move has been as important as any and probably will be the most important for Brad Treliving since he took over this Maple Leafs team. Martin Jones has not only put up the numbers, but has inspired a lot of confidence in the group. I think they play really, really hard for Martin Jones, and I think we saw that against the Anaheim Ducks, where in the second half of a back-to-back, Jones had only given up one, and we saw just an absolute blitz in the third period for the Maple Leafs, who wanted to get that goal, to tie the game, to get the points, and the goal for Martin Jones. It was, I don't know if they turned a corner. I don't know if it's as much as big as that, or I'm making it out to be bigger than it is. But that was an important press and third period and game tying goal, an eventual game winner. In continued support of Martin Jones and continuing or dispelling the notion that you can't beat the lesser lights in the NHL.
While we are talking about Martin Jones, let's make him our player to watch. Presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. So Jones against his old team. Jones on a roll. His third game in a row. Lots of confidence there. How about a Martin Jones shutout? It's only plus 750 considering the San Jose Sharks have the worst goal differential in the league and don't score very often, but they have been shut out 6 times this season. So a shutout at plus 750, and if you're feeling less confident in that and you want to bet the team total under, it's under 1.5, so meaning they will score 1 goal. That's plus 200. On the other side, if you're feeling like the Leafs will just dominate and win on the puck line, you can do the alternate puck line, Leafs minus 2.5 plus 155, Leafs minus 3.5 plus 340, et cetera, et cetera. The odds just get bigger and better. But it does feel to me Like, it would be disappointing if the Leafs don't just steamroll the San Jose Sharks, and it would be so sweet. It'd be a great revenge story if Martin Jones did it without letting a goal in.
Yeah, it might be a night for aggressive bet because, the San Jose Sharks don't do either of the things well. They don't score goals well. They don't allow goals at a particularly minimal level. They've given up the most goals in the NHL so far this year with 157. They've also scored the fewest goals with just 79. And the league leaders in the NHL are the Vancouver Canucks, 143. So they're down, what is this, quick math, 64 goals compared to the highest scoring team in the NHL. And they've only played 38 games. Like, they just do not do the two things that are most important very well. And for that reason, a Maple Leafs team who does do some of those things quite well should be able to take advantage.
Okay, we've got about 2 minutes left, so let's give the starting lineups, or the lineups in general for the Maple Leafs. So that top line of Matthew Nyes, Austin Matthews, and Mitch Marner together, Tyler Bertuzzi, John Tavares, and William Nylander, Pontus Holmberg, Max Domi, Kalle Jarnkrok, Bobby McMahon, David Kampf, and Noah Gregor. And on the D end, Morgan Riley and TJ Brody together, Simon Benoit and Jake McCabe, and Mark Giordano and Timothy Liljegren. Martin Jones in net. There's one All-Star in that, Austin Matthews, possibly an opportunity for more All-Stars. I did figure it out if you're listening. All you have to do is tweet hashtag NHL All-Star vote and then the name of the All-Star that you think should go. And the Maple Leafs have put out a list, I guess, of those that they're promoting. It's kind of a weird thing. I guess you could vote anybody, but John Tavares, Morgan Riley, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander are the three on their little photo of, hey, fans, vote for these people. So I assume we'll see one of them, and it might be William Nylander, who's had an amazing season so far.
Yeah, he really has. It would be a crime if he didn't go to the All-Star game this year. You and I have joked around a lot about how, well, it just might be impossible because you could only have 2, maybe 3 at the most, and you got to do something really special or host the event to get 3 All-Stars generally. And he's always blocked by the likes of Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. And I guess you could go to John Tavares or Morgan Riley.
He's miles ahead
or a goaltender. Jack Campbell showed up at an All-Star game once. Mm-hmm. So it seems like everything works against William Nylander. This should be the year that William Nylander goes. It'd be very, very disappointing. So, get on the Twitter machine and fire out a few votes for William Nylander.
He just got his 50th point. He's at 51 this year. Austin Matthews at 45. Mitch Marner at 39. John Tavares at 33. And then sneakily in the top 5 is Morgan Riley with 29 points this season. He's been a really quiet, consistent force on the back end. He's averaging so much ice time, like the most ever, over 20-something a night at least. He's been so incredible back there. I think he deserves a lot more credit. We're going to keep our eyes on him tonight, make sure we talk about all the good things that Morgan Riley does.
In net for the San Jose Sharks tonight will be Mackenzie Blackwood, which means that we won't get to see a goaltender that may have been a target if Martin Jones didn't step up and do an incredible job for Brad Treliving in the Maple Leafs. And Kaapo Kähkönen, he could be a goaltender on the move before the deadline. But Mackenzie Blackwood, I don't want to quibble with the decision making of agents and NHL players, but if you go to recoup your own value for a team like the San Jose Sharks, well, it might be the John Klingberg effect where it's very difficult to do so. So Mackenzie Blackwood, he was thought of maybe Canada's next goaltender at an NHL international event. I'm not sure it's going on that trajectory anymore. But Mackenzie Blackwood is a talented guy, maybe just playing for a bad team and can't get that value up to what he needs it to be.
All right, maybe we just won't be talking about goaltenders around the trade deadline this time around. With the way that Martin Jones has been playing, and hopefully with Joseph Woll back in the fold sometime soon, we haven't heard an update about him in a while, things could be pretty steady. So Sharks have lost 10 straight. Maple Leafs look to complete a California sweep on the West Coast. We'll take a break, and on the other side, it will be our guys, Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph, with The Call. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Let's go, football fans. This week on Let's Go with Tom Brady and Larry Fitzgerald and me, Jim Gray.
The NFL has kind of changed the schedule, and there's a lot of good football games, and that's what makes it fun to watch. It all matters. One game to determine whether you move on or not. Everyone's put a lot of effort into the season, and I know when I was in that marathon, man, it was hard. It was hard to get to this part of the year.
Listen to Let's Go every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio and anytime on the SiriusXM app.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
On and off the ice.
Brandon Hagel, he got paid $52 million from the Tampa Bay Lightning. 9 guys on this Lightning team who are currently playing under either 7 or 8 year contracts. I mean, you can't just keep handing these things out. As much as people applaud Tampa for doing these deals, I think we're a year and a half away from just shaking our heads over all of this stuff.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91.
And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, no coaching experience in Paul Coffey. What's that been like as far as a rather unique fit as an assistant?
If you look at all the things that have improved with our team, and maybe even the most is how well our defense has been playing. Paul's done a great job of communicating with them and getting a message on just playing assertively.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Leafs.
24/7 Hockey Talk.
His playmaking this season has been taken to another level. I know that this 11.25 that David Pasternak's making is going to look very cheap. It already does probably this season, but as this cap rises, he's going to be an underpaid player for the years to come. That's how good he is.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91.
And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound. Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
The best hockey lives here.
Martins gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The Leafs Radio Network.
The Leafs and the San Jose Sharks, and it is an interesting opportunity for the Maple Leafs, who get a chance here this evening to sweep the season series. And I've lost my darn sheet for my spots, but we will get to that because the starting netminders, the Masons of the Metal Mansions tonight. Martin Jones, who is 6-3-0 and a 2.20 goals against average, .930 save percentage, is up against Mackenzie Blackwood, who is 4-15-2, 3.84 goals against average and an .891 save percentage. And we will get the commercial attachment to that as soon as I find the damn thing in my copy here. At any rate, we're underway. Leafs to the left, or to the right, and the Sharks to the left in the Shark tank, and an interception in the slot, and a shot is blocked there by Brody. It goes to the left wing boards and unable to come up with it as it's played out in center ice as Ruda got the shot away. Played in over the line now by Marner. Marner stops up, sends it down into the corner for Nyes. He couldn't make a play, and back come the Sharks in across the line. A drop pass now for Granlund. His shot was blocked, and the Leafs have it again in their own zone. Played off on the left wing side for Morgan Riley, who's getting a lot of interest, certainly from Leaf fans, and probably enjoying his finest season. And if he's ever going to make it to the All-Star game, the game in Toronto is probably the one that he should go to, as it's played down into the Toronto end, and it is McCabe chipping it back out into the center ice area. Sharks send it back into the Toronto zone. Along the boards, McCabe sending it up on the left wing. Bertuzzi got it freed up, and out comes Tavares. In across the line with Nylander. Back for Tavares. If he makes any contact with that pass at all, it's into an empty net. But it went wide and into the corner. Great feed from Willie. Onto the near side now for Hurdle. Can't get a shot away. Still nothing on either netminder as this game is almost 2 minutes old. Another shot goes wide of the Leaf cage. Back to the point, kept in there by Addison to his defensive partner on the left wing side. That shot went wide. Karam's all the way back to Addison again. He goes D to D once more, comes back to Addison. He'll work down the left wing boards now on his backhand. Tried to center into a crowd, knocked into the corner. Leafs trying to get it freed up around the boards, and now it is flipped out at center ice and into the center ice area. And the starting goaltenders brought to you by Superior Door and Gate Systems, Canada's top choice for automatic doors and security gates, security fencing and bollards, because security can only be measured by what you will save and what will save you. Brought in over the line. Hoffman trying to get a shot. That might have been deflected wide of the net there by Jones. If so, it's the first shot on goal. There's definitely one from the slot that was stopped by Jones. And the Maple Leafs are able to punch it out into neutral ice. Our thanks to Armin for finding my copy for me. Right down into the corner it goes. LeBlanc gets it up on the wing, but not out. Now it bounces to center. Yarncrook trying to lift it back in, and it goes in deep, and it will be Emberson going back. Ty Emberson getting it up on the left wing side. The Sharks are just 6-11-2 on home ice and 9-27-3 overall. It has been a horrific season in San Jose. The Leafs in with a pass and another opportunity. This time Riley, if he makes any contact with that hard pass from Camp, has another goal. Back to the point once more. Now to Riley on the left wing. A shot in traffic bounces wide of the net into the far corner. It'll come back on the wing. And now here are the Sharks getting it out at center ice. And shot down into the Toronto end. Jones couldn't trap it back of the net for his defense. Sharks have it taken away niftily there by Brody, who reached around and poked it off his stick. Niftily, is that a word?
It is now.
Oh, thank you. Well, brought back into that. Wasn't that Danny Gallivan's line to some English teacher? Cannonading? Or,
Mr. Gallivan, there's no such word.
No. Yeah, well, there is now. Brought out at center ice by McCabe. Played to an open wing on the right wing side. Nye's able to slow it up at the blue line and force a delayed offside. And the Leafs have it again. No score. Nicely underway here in the game in San Jose. Back of the net, Matthews found Marner. Marner circles the goal again, works it out in front. Matthews is there! Got a shot away and a sprawling block by the defenseman, Granlund, to stop that. Riley had crept in, and now the Sharks have iced the puck in a hurry to get away from that. And there'll be a face-off coming in the San Jose zone as a result.
Yeah, as good as the Leafs have been in the last two games, I'm sure every Leaf fan from about mid-October looked at these back-to-back games against the San Jose Sharks and said, oh no. As the Leafs looking to sweep their California trip, at the San Jose Sharks, as you mentioned, dead last in the National Hockey League, and on their second double-digit losing streak on the season. 10 in a row the Sharks have lost. But the last time they came out of it, Joe, they went on a decent run, 6-2-2 in the next 10 after starting 0-10-1 in the season.
By then, you were buried, though, right? And it's going to be an icing call here. And as far as the sweep is concerned, it's been kind of interesting. In 2018-19, the Leafs won all three. 19-20, they lost all three. 21-22, they won all three. 22-23, lost all three. This year, have won the first two.
Let's hope that streak will continue.
Yes.
And it is a rarity in the schedule where the Leafs will play San Jose Tuesday night at home. You've got to go back to 2003, the last time the Leafs played a Western Conference team back-to-back, home and home.
Now the Shark coming out in front, and a shot went wide of the net, taken by Barbanov, and it goes down into the corner. Barbanov out in front, but they can't get him the puck. It goes around back of the net, looking for him here, and a centering pass knocked down by the stick of Jones and then swallowed up by the Leaf netminder. And a face-off will come in the Toronto zone.
Well, first goal, I mean, obviously it's been a tough season for San Jose, but when allowing the first goal this year, they have 2 wins, 21 losses. Wow. So getting out to a decent start is imperative. And the Leafs, I would say, have been so-so. Haven't shown quite the same jump that they've had either in Los Angeles or even in Anaheim. The second of back-to-backs in Anaheim, but still came out very strong.
Brought to center ice. Shot in by McCabe. Rolls down into the corner. Gregor, a former Shark, got it freed up, but it couldn't get it in front of the net. And now here is Justin Bailey getting it ahead on the right wing side and down into the zone. Good hit there by Benoit as it was knocked away as it comes back to the point and out into neutral ice. Sharks have to go back to reorganize. Brought back in now by Mike Hoffman. Nope, he decides to circle back. Drops it even deeper as the Sharks were making a change. Back for Hoffman on the near boards, and Benoit stepped into him. That allows Yarncrook in with a shot. Blockered away by Blackwood. Puck is along the boards and down into the corner. Trying to free it up. It goes around back of the net. Backhanded by Kunin to the line, but not out. Long shot in traffic. That was knocked down by Blackwood. The puck goes back to the blue line. Just kept in by Yarncrook. Down low, a shot, and that was deflected off a body, and it's going to come all the way back into the Leaf end. We played 6 minutes and a little bit of change here in the first period. No score, which has been the modus operandi of the Maple Leafs on this trip. They have not scored a first period goal, and Blackwood covers up on a rolling puck. They have not scored a first period goal in the previous 2 games.
I think you even go back to the Carolina game. They didn't score.
Yeah, I think you're right.
In the opening period as well.
So it is a 0-0 tie. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, this is Conan O'Brien. Check out my channel, Conan O'Brien Radio, on Sirius XM 104. You'll find my delightful Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend podcast, highlights from my late night shows, showcasing some of the most absurd and hilarious moments from my decades on television.
Come on, everyone, settle down. This is a serious TV show.
Plus, dive deep into 28 years of late night memories and behind the scenes with Inside Conan. Conan O'Brien Radio, only on Sirius XM Channel 104. Or listen with the Sirius XM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
With Brad Treliving, general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs. How would you describe your season?
We've been able to put some points in the bank here, knowing that we're capable of playing much better. You know, that's sort of our focus right now is trying to get a little more consistent in our game and getting our team up to a little higher level of play.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
24/7 hockey talk. His playmaking this season has been taken to another level. I know that this 11.25 that David Pasternak's making is going to look very cheap. It already does probably this season, but as this cap rises, he's going to be an underpaid player for the years to come. That's how good he is.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
When you take a look at the San Jose Sharks lineup, it looks like the leaderboard at a really good golf tournament. Burrows minus 23, Kunin minus 19, Zadina minus 27. Mario Ferraro minus 21. Thomas Hertl minus 21. It has been a real struggle, and the goal differential minus 78 as far as the Sharks are concerned. And pass partially deflects off a stick and comes to center ice, forcing Riley back. He eludes one checker and bounces the shot in wide of the net. It's tipped into the corner by Blackwood. Centering pass. And a quick shot taken, but Blackwood was there and covers up on it.
The bottom line is, though, if you're in a rebuild, does it really matter, other than if you're worried about attendance or anything else? So does it matter how bad you are when you go through it? I mean,
well,
the Leafs...
yeah, you hope you get more of the ping pong balls in the...
the downside of the Erik Karlsson trade, you get a first-rounder back from the Penguins that is top 10 protected. So if Pittsburgh finishes in the bottom 10... San Jose does not get that draft pick.
And they're not exactly lighting the house on fire either this year. So it's been a tough year for general manager Mike Greer and coach David Quinn. Familiar face behind the bench, too, and Scott Gordon, who's an assistant coach with the Sharks brought to center and in across the line. Sharks try to chip it into the corner, but it is pushed out by Tavares, and the Leafs break with Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi in over the line, sends it into the corner. Tavares does a nice job of shielding the puck, but then had it knocked away before Nylander could do some damage with it, and it's played down into the Toronto end. Liljegren backhands it out into the center ice area, down into Shark territory. San Jose back to play it up on the boards. And wearing their teal jerseys, play it in over the line on the left wing side. Good stand up there by McCabe as the puck goes down in along the boards. Benoit chasing his man as it comes back to the point, completely fanned on. It goes into the near corner, and the Leafs get it up on the wing, but Nylander fails to get it out. He and McCabe kind of get tangled up. Nylander playing it off to his defense partner, and it'll come around to McCabe, who will circle back behind the net, being chased there by Justin Bailey, and McCabe skates it out at center. At the red line, he shoots it in on the goaltender. Blackwood tipping it back into the corner, comes back around to the near side, cut off by Riley. Morgan Riley for the Leafs around back of the net. Stops up there, got it back of the goal once more. Sent back to the point to Domi. Domi's shot goes wide of the goal. Down along the boards then. Brody comes away with it. In front for Max Domi, and a quick shot is swallowed up by Blackwood. Good scoring opportunity for the Leafs. Maybe the best scoring opportunity they've had with at least a shot on goal. I still think the other two, the open net passes that just missed, were glorious chances.
Then you had Austin Matthews with an opportunity and a shot that got blocked from the slot. And I mean, going back to the Nylander-Tavares odd man rush, that was one of those where you can be the Monday morning quarterback and say you'd like Willie Nylander to shoot from there when you get a clear path to the net off the right wing. But I don't think Willie, with the season he's had, really needs to be told what he should be doing offensively.
Centering pass, the least of which from us. Down the boards now it goes. Played back on the wing. Shot by Domi was deflected wide. Gobbled up. Another shot in on goal, and Blackwood's down. Good screen there from Pontus Holmberg, who is in the lineup. Connor Timmins, William Lagesson, and Nick Robertson are the scratches. So the Leafs going with the exact same unit that they had in Los Angeles and Anaheim on this road trip.
And one of the big losses, I mean, right from the start of the year, Logan Couture, the captain of the San Jose Sharks, lower body injury, starting to skate now, is hopeful that he'll play on a road trip coming up. It'll start in Toronto, the road trip on Tuesday. Go through Montreal, Ottawa, and I believe Buffalo.
They can certainly use him. Quality individual and a great player. A shot is blockered away by Blackwood, and it goes all the way over the boards and the glass on the near side.
Might have caught the shaft of his stick above the blocker.
Yeah, it really had a lot of jump to it, didn't it?
The Leafs, although it doesn't feel like a dominant start, are now out shooting the Sharks 10-2.
Well, they had 104 shot attempts in Anaheim when they registered 57 on goal.
By the way, tied a Leaf record for shots on goal on the road.
And the last time they did that was in Chicago.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, 2019 in November. Leafs down in the offensive zone again. Get another shot towards the net. It went wide. Another shot taken then by Giordano was blocked and launched high and out past Liljegren down into the Toronto end. Liljegren backhanding it around the boards for Giordano. He returns the favor, but that got past the Leaf defenseman Liljegren. He has to hustle over there to tie his man up, and efficiently played now, and the Leafs get it ahead on Matthews' stick to the line, in on goal, and he snapped that off the post. The rebound into the corner. Nice centering, and Matthews trying to get to it, and it'll be pushed back to the goaltender by the defenseman to cover up as Austin Matthews comes very close to opening the scoring.
This is a great out. Austin Matthews on the far boards in his own zone gets to the middle of the ice to Mitch Marner. Marner will eventually return the favor. Throw it to Matthews just crossing center. And Matthews originally had the puck poked off his stick, but then it went off his skate and right back onto the tape.
Benoit banking it, trying to carom it in front of the net, but it went wide and back of the goal. Marner after it in the far corner. Upended there. Nyes tries to dig it free, but the Sharks will get it freed up, and Emberson will send it out at center. Now Benoit has lost his stick, and a pass on the near side. Hits the side of the goal. A rebound comes up on the near side, and Nyes is out. Real good chance there for San Jose. And you know what? We watch this again when we see the replay. I think Jones was there. He really came across quickly and with a lot of equipment. If that shot had been on goal, I think he gets it. Duclair playing it high to center ice. The Leafs there at their own blue line. Turning with it is Brody. He'll find Riley. And Morgan Riley comes out at center ice. Veteran defenseman to the line. Long shoot in wide of the goal to the far side. Pinching down is Nylander. The puck comes free. Dug out now and brought to center ice by the Sharks as Eklund works in on the right side. Tries to chip it around back of the net. Then the return pass was gobbled up by Brody. He got it to Nylander. Nylander does a good job to force it up the boards, but not out. Brody will have to tear it back and finds Riley. And now Riley finds ample room up the middle, and Nylander is out. He drops it back for Tavares. Tried to make a little inside move, but had it poked off his stick. Carried by Barabanov back to the Toronto line, but it's offside. So it'll be brought back into the center ice area. The Leafs out shooting the San Jose Sharks 11-2 at this point in the game, but there is no score. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herron. Experience a new level of luxury at Williamsburg Green. Your new single-family home will have all the modern features you dream about, even a fully finished lower level. Kitchener's newest master plan community with bike trails, parks and a new library. Williamsburg Green has it all. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate, as in while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to uncommon winter confidence.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Leafs Radio Network.
This job does get in the way of a lot of important days, and I know you have, and I have as well, missed a lot of birthdays and various things, and I'm missing an important one tonight as little Brooklyn Bowen turns the big 6. Not 6-0, just 6. And they just got back from a nice vacation in Mexico, and she's all tanned up and had a great time. Lots of swimming in the ocean and everything. So happy birthday, Brookie.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They're at Eastside Mario's having dinner. He's tying into all of the pasta they can, I'm sure. Pass up the middle is intercepted by the Leafs. Pushed to the line and in. Drop back now nicely for Liljegren. Liljegren at the point, trying to find an opening to get it to the net, and he did, but it deflected wide of the goal. Sharks play it out at center and down into the Leaf end. 11-2 the shots. Best scoring chances the Leafs have not registered in goals. 2 tap-ins that just failed to make contact that had empty nets, and Austin Matthews ringing it off the goalpost. Played around the boards then by Emberson at Karam's to center, brought in over the line. Ryan Carpenter goes wide. Nice shielded there and taken out of the play by David Camp, who got it ahead for Bobby McMahon. He's engaged in the Leaf zone by a couple of players, but is able to punch it out. And now Noah Gregor will flip it in, and McMahon trying to deny an icing, and he's done that. Goes working back at the net, centered it in front of the net, no one there. Here's Benoit sending it back around the boards. Into the corner it goes. Grabbed off by the Leafs. McMahon gets it back to the point. Walking the line, it goes off McMahon's stick back into the corner. The Leafs in the middle of a change. Matthews couldn't come up with it. Played out at center, and the Leafs are there, but a bad pass there by Nyes was partially deflected, but the Leafs restore it and have it in their own zone. Bank pass ahead for Matthews. Matthews ran into a traffic jam, lost the puck, regains the puck, and out at center ice he comes now with Nyes. To the line now for Marner. Marner back in for Matthews. A tip in on goal is swallowed up by Blackwood. Great pass from Mitch Marner, and Matthews is buzzing around the net again as he has another great scoring chance.
And for Matthews, this is the first official shot on goal. Does Matthews get a piece of this, Joe? Trying to look at the replay here. Give and go with Marner.
I think he did.
Going to the net for the redirection. Austin Matthews versus the San Jose Sharks in his career. 11 games, 11 goals. Got 5 goals in 5 career games against Seattle.
Line's been in the way there of trying to get a Marner pass to work. Puck in the corner. Chipped along the boards. Nyes gets it back into the near corner for Matthews. He shields it well. Working back to the point with a pass on the far side. Wrist shot coming, but it goes off his stick and finds the screen and goes out of play. And there'll be a face-off coming in the San Jose end of the rink. I think you should mention the shutout streak at this early. No,
we're a
let's
little
wait
early
for
on.
the second.
Yeah, it's worked the last couple of games.
Yes, it has, hasn't it? Not that we're superstitious.
By the way, when you talk about losing Logan Couture out of the lineup with the injury, Erik Karlsson was in on 43% of the Sharks' goals last year. 43%.
That's amazing, isn't it? Puck in the center ice area at the Leaf blue line. Sharks waiting for teammates to get on side before shooting it in. Liljegren gets it back behind the net. Riley was upended and tripped. Penalty coming here to San Jose. Jones thinking about leaving the net, and there he goes. 6 attackers coming on. And across the line it goes for Bertuzzi. Rolled it, trying to get a pass in for Liljegren. It ends up going to the goaltender. And the first power play opportunity of the game is going to come as a result.
This looked like more almost a slew fit from Thomas Hertl than anything else, but Leafs looking to finally get a first period goal here.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's Week 18 in the NFL. Playoff spots are on the line, and there's only one place for all the action.
Touchdown! Josh Allen, the beast, has been released!
And that's the Sunday Drive. This is Bill Eckes. Join Steve Torrey and me at noon Eastern for live listen-ins, guests, playoff implications, and coaching news around the NFL.
It's a playoff atmosphere, a really good team.
Spend Week 18 with the Sunday Drive at noon Eastern on NFL Radio Channel 88 and on the Sirius XM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
With Brad Treliving, general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs. How would you describe your season?
We've been able to put some points in the bank here, knowing that we're capable of playing much better. That's sort of our focus right now is trying to get a little more consistent in our game and getting our team up to a little higher level of play.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
That you can get better by getting worse. Bye-bye Laine. Bye-bye Pierre-Luc Dubois. Bye-bye Blake Wheeler. They might have gone from a club to a team. The Jets are better without those guys, maybe, than they've ever been in Atlanta or Winnipeg with Bufflin and Trouba and everybody else.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Radio Network.
No score, first period, first power play opportunity of the game coming here for the Maple Leafs as 14:21 the time of the Hertl penalty for tripping.
San Jose 28th overall in the 32-team NHL and proficiency on the penalty kill.
133 times short, a centering pass, one-timer by Matthews. I think Blackwood may have got a piece of that, and it shot down the ice.
When the penalty kill, they've killed just 7 of 11, the San Jose Sharks, in the last 3 games coming in.
In the last 10 games on the power play, they're 4 of 24. But yeah, 9 of 32. A shot that sounded like it got iron and deflects over top of the glass, courtesy of Willie Nylander.
Well, shots on goal now 14-2.
And 2 posts.
Yeah, that one, Willie Nylander looking short side, goes high glove on Mackenzie Blackwood, beats him high glove, but rattles it off the crossbar and out of play.
Faceoff will be in the Shark zone to the left of Blackwood.
And we had talked about it in Anaheim where the Leafs just couldn't buy a goal. But then John Tavares goes to the front of the net on the power play, gets a redirection on a point shot, and then his rebound off the goalpost to tie it up at 1 before Matthews would win it in overtime.
Tavares scrums the draw. It's won then by...
Is this a hand pass right off a face-off? It could be a 5-on-3 here, as Michael Granlund might be getting called for a face-off violation. You cannot play the puck with your glove. And the officials are discussing this now, and the Leafs could end up with a 5-on-3 for 1:28. And yeah, it looks like they're making their way over. Taking a look again, Granlund. Oh, yeah. I think this is a penalty.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Granlund won the draw, and as he fell, he swept the puck backwards with his left hand.
Accidentally. Maybe not so accidentally.
Well, Mitch Marner called it, if the officials were a little unsure. And it would appear the Leafs...
64, 2 minutes for playing with his hand off and face off.
The Maple Leafs, this is the 3rd time they have had a 5-on-3. It's totaled 1 minute and 2 seconds up till now, but they've not scored with a 5-on-3. This is going to be 1:28 as Granlund is in the box at 14:53.
Granlund, by the way, has been on a pretty good roll. 21 points in his last 19 games.
Now they've redone the clock, so it's 1:30 now with the 2-man advantage. And the draw scrummed, knocked into the corner. Leafs come out with it. Riley over on the far side. Nylander closing. Down low it goes to Matthews. Back to Nylander. Nylander to Riley. Riley doesn't shoot it. Marner gets it. Now Riley does shoot it, and it's over top of the goal. The rebound has gone. Did that go off the goal post as well? Because it's caromed up into the screen and gone out of play.
Luke Kunin might have got a piece of this. He dove in front of the Riley shot. Looking at it again, a little bump. No, you're right. Another crossbar.
Well, they've had 3 in the period. Tavares leaning in against Ryan Carpenter. And both of them are right down on the barrel of the stick, and the puck is in the skates, and the Leafs are able to come away with a good job by the captain. Now Nylander at the point. Down to Marner on the right wing side. Doesn't shoot it. Back to Riley. Back to Marner. He shoots and scores. Mitch Marner found a little room between the goal post and the goaltender, and the 2-man advantage has the Leafs out in front 1-0.
And still plenty of time for the number 1 unit to go to work here. On the second power play, good give and go. Riley and Mitch Marner have been playing catch back and forth, and finally Mitch Marner from the left wing circle on his off wing takes the pass from the high slot from Morgan Riley and decides he's just going to throw it to the net. You had Tavares in front, and Marner finds a little sliver of room in between the blocker and the post of Blackwood to get the Leafs a 1-0 lead.
Fourth power play goal of the year for Mitch Marner, 15th of the season. And Morgan Riley continues to have a tremendous season. That's point number 30 on the year. Domi with the second unit on for Bertuzzi. Works down into the corner. Minute 12 to go in the second power play opportunity. Working along the boards, Nyes gets it back to the point. Giordano sends it back to him. Back it goes to Giordano on the near side. Back to the point. Giordano, a shot. That was blocked. And it is brought by Justin Bailey out at center and shot down the ice. Interesting to see if the first unit comes back over the boards. It looks like it is attempting to do just that. Leafs bring it out at the center ice zone, and Marner's across the line. Bertuzzi remains out there. Marner had it in his skates. Nylander steals. Centering pass. Oh, what a chance Domi had. He was in behind Blackwood and shot it right behind him wide. The puck goes into the near corner and is punched out at center ice. And now brought to center and into the Leaf zone by Carpenter. Ryan Carpenter on the wing got a pass to Kunin, whose shot was blockered away nicely there by Jones. Leafs with a 1-0 lead and 15 seconds to go in the power play. Riley dropping it back. Matthews through neutral ice to the line. In on the right wing, it goes to Marner. Back it goes to Riley. Riley works the line. Back to the point. It goes to Marner again. His shot, that may have gone off the goal post as well. Kept alive by Nylander. Nylander to the far side. That's 4 posts that the Leafs have hit here in this first period. Back to the far side. The penalty is over. A shot from a sharp angle was blocked. Marner taken out efficiently by Emberson, and that allows the Sharks to get the puck out at center ice. 2:45 left to play in the period. The Leafs lead 1-0. Chipped along the boards to the far wing, and now here's Matthews coming out. Got it up on the right side. Marner stops up, holds, now sends it towards the net. There was McMahon there trying to chip it along. Blackwood could, or at least Blackwood chipped it into the corner, and it is played by the Sharks back out into neutral ice. McCann and in on the forecheck, along with Camp and Gregor. Played along the boards. Benoit couldn't keep it in. Simon Benoit had some interesting comments to make after acquiring the championship belt after the game in Anaheim, after the fight and everything else. He says, can't score a goal for you, but I'll take the body. He's done that. He's become a little bit of a cult hero, in fact.
He was given the belt from Martin Jones, who was a player of the game before when he shut out the LA Kings.
Played down into the zone. And it's great that it is handed out for other things other than the scoring hero or whatever. I mean, you could, it gets handed around. It's the person who has it makes the choice.
But who better than a goaltender to acknowledge defensemen in front of him, which I think is great. By the way, we talk about the Leafs in the post. Austin Matthews now leads the NHL with 11 off the iron, goalpost or crossbar. So leads the league in goal scoring, although Sam Reinhart had a pretty good night tonight in Colorado. 3 goals, so right behind Austin Matthews.
Deflection comes in front of the goal, wasn't cleared, kept alive by Liljegren. At the point, it goes to Giordano. His shot was deflected wide of the net. It's back of the goal with Domi trying to come out. He banks it back to Liljegren. Liljegren returns the favor. Domi back to Liljegren. He'll get it to the net. Big save, rebound! Shot over top of the goal or maybe off the mask. Yarncrook getting the chance in front. Played off the boards again. The Leafs all over the Sharks here, and Blackwood is going to have one of his defensemen roll the puck back into the goal crease so that he can stop play and give the Maple Leafs a little bit of an opportunity here or the Sharks a chance to breathe a little bit. Did that go off the mask?
I'm not sure. It was a shot that was redirected. Yarncrook redirects it from the point first and then gets the rebound. He's upset over the Leaf bench slamming his stick against the boards. And this is one of those moments. Leafs are full control of this game, out shooting the Sharks 17-3 here late in the opening period, up 1-0. But San Jose still one power play goal or one bounce from being right back into it.
Well, they dominated things against the Ducks the other night, 18, 15, and then 22 shots in the 3 periods that totaled the 57. But you just keep plugging away, right? You hope that you're, as they call it, puck luck.
Yeah, but don't give them anything to get excited about. That's where the Leafs have been very good so far in this trip, where the defensive breakdowns have really been at a minimum.
Sharks win the face-off. Shot in then by Ty Emberson. Back of the net is Jones. Got it along the boards, Riley, but he couldn't find enough to get it to Nyes. It comes back to the point. Shot blocked. Riley gets another opportunity. This time he does find Nyes. And Matthew Nyes makes a nifty move. He's by the defenseman. He's in a goal! Oh, and instead of backhanding it, he tried to make a pass to Marner. And it was ill-advised. The kid should have taken it to the net. And I think that's the discussion going on now between the two. Well, what a great chance that was.
Yeah, very similar to the Nylander opportunity in the first period. And it was the defenseman that really, I believe it was Ruda, or no, it was Ferraro, that really went right to the far wing to take away the pass right away. So that would have given Nyes a little extra time and space taking it to the net.
Draw scrummed in the San Jose zone. 28 seconds left in the period. Leafs keep it in. McCabe with a high shot over top of the goal. Bounced around to the far side. Liljegren is pinched. And the Sharks have set it out and down into the Leaf end, but it won't have enough to go for icing. Just 15 seconds left in the period. McCabe back of the goal playing catch with it. And Marner is going to play it back to McCabe, and they're just going to let the clock run up. It'll be forced there momentarily by Michael Granlund. And there is the horn.
I think what you really like about the period as well, Joe, is there was no gambling to try to say, okay, we got to make this 2-0 or 3-0 in the first 5 minutes of the game. Thought it was a pretty smart road period for the Leafs to open things up. And it looked like they weren't going to get their first period goal until finally Mitch Marner on the power play at 5-on-3 opens up the scoring.
18 shots on goal, which is the number they had in Anaheim to open the period, but they get a little bit of good fortune there. A two-man advantage on the power play. Marner from Riley and Nylander at 15-22, and the Leafs have a 1-0 lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The College Football National Championship is on Sirius XM. Michigan looks to win their first title since 1997.
Cork breaks a tackle to the 5. Touchdown, Wolverine!
The Washington Huskies hope to cap an undefeated season with their first national championship in over 30 years.
Penix fires a fastball. Are you kidding me?
Monday at 7:30 Eastern. Hear the national broadcast on ESPN Radio, Channel 80. The Michigan Call on Channel 81. Washington Broadcast Channel 84. And all the action is on the Sirius XM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
With Brad Treliving, general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, how would you describe your season?
We've been able to put some points in the bank here, knowing that we're capable of playing much better. You know, that's sort of our focus right now is trying to get a little more consistent in our game and getting our team up to a little higher level of play.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
That you can get better by getting worse. Bye-bye Laine. Bye-bye Pierre-Luc Dubois. Bye-bye Blake Wheeler. They might have gone from a club to a team. The Jets are better without those guys, maybe, than they've ever been in Atlanta or Winnipeg with Bufflin and Trouba and everybody else.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
On and off the ice.
Brandon Hagel, he got paid $52 million from the Tampa Bay Lightning. 9 guys on this Lightning team who are currently playing under either 7 or 8 year contracts. I mean, you can't just keep handing these things out. As much as people applaud Tampa for doing these deals, I think we're a year and a half away from just shaking our heads over all of this stuff.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. No coaching experience in Paul Coffey. What's that been like as far as a rather unique fit as an assistant?
If you look at all the things that have improved with our team, and maybe even the most is how well our defense has been playing. Paul's done a great job of communicating with them and getting a message on just playing assertively.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
24/7 hockey talk.
His playmaking this season has been taken to another level. I know that this 11.25 that David Pasternak's making is going to look very cheap. It already does probably this season, but as this cap rises, he's going to be an underpaid player for the years to come. That's how good he is.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert here for your intermissions. Leafs lead 1-0 after 20 minutes against the San Jose Sharks on the third and final game of their West Coast road trip. Already got 2 wins, looking to do the California sweep. And that period was all Maple Leafs all night long. Or I guess daytime if you're over in California, a little 4 p.m. start. But Leafs absolutely just steamrolled the Sharks in terms of attempts, shots, scoring chances, etc. But a 1-0 lead, that can always be a little scary.
Oh, it's hard to be scared at this point against the San Jose Sharks team. I mean, they just look completely out of their element tonight, and I guess they have been all season long. 89% expected goals percentage for the Maple Leafs in that period. 38-10 the shot attempts. Just an absolute downhill run on the San Jose Sharks in that period. But I will say, Joe Bowen was saying it before the break, another 18-shot first period against a California team. And again, like that is kind of proof in that, okay, they maybe see the importance of just like treating a game against a bad team the same way you would any other game. I mean, it's hard to fake 18 shots. It really is. Like that was just a dominant, comprehensive period. It was the same against Anaheim. They weren't rewarded in that. And maybe that's the reason why they were chasing the game is that, hey, why don't we get anything from that 18-shot period? But tonight, just the 1 goal. It would have been a crime if they didn't get one, especially the 2 back-to-back not scoring in either 18-shot period would just seem unfair. But that Maple Leafs period should have been more than 1-0, and it looks like they're going to be able to, well, who knows? But you should be able to carry that momentum over because it just looks like there's a difference in class tonight.
Yeah, it took them till the third period to finally get one in Anaheim, but they didn't really let up. And after 18 shots again this first period, they out-attempted the San Jose Sharks 38-10. They outscoring chanced the Sharks 19-4 and had 6 high-danger chances to the Sharks 0. So the ice has been very tilted in favor for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. Austin Matthews hit a couple posts. Apparently he leads the NHL in hitting posts and crossbars. Luke Fox tweeted that one out, our Sportsnet Luke Fox. But a nice 5-on-3 power play goal. I don't feel like the Maple Leafs often get 5-on-3s. I was trying to remember, like, it doesn't happen much. But Marner with a really nice goal off another Morgan Riley assist. The two of them going head-to-head for that All-Star game vote. They're just going to duel it out all night long. Who can get the most points and the most votes?
I mean, and we are the guy who got in, though, the guy who's already in, Austin Matthews. I mean, that was another period where he just looked like he was, different class of 2 teams here in the Leafs and the Sharks. It didn't look like anyone was on Austin Matthews' level in that first period. Just like every time he touched the puck, it seemed like there was a scoring chance being generated or taken by the Maple Leafs. He looks like he's reaching peak Austin Matthews form, and he's already got 30 goals this year. So I'll be watching him for the remaining 2 periods. If it's going to be a points night, if it's going to be a goals night, if they can sort of run away with this thing, maybe Austin Matthews is going to put a couple in the net before the night is over.
So if you're the Maple Leafs scouting department, or you're looking to find some value from the San Jose Sharks, like who are you circling as, you got to watch out for this guy tonight? Because honestly, and I'm not trying to be rude, nobody pops on this roster.
Be rude. Be a little rude.
I mean,
okay.
it's pretty mid, folks, as the kids are saying. Worse than mid is bad. We were looking through the roster, and their top point getter, who's going to go to the All-Star game, Tomas Hertl. I was like, oh, Justin, all right. Like, he's got 28 points. Like, if you had to pick someone from the San Jose Sharks roster to put in the Maple Leafs roster, like, what's his deal?
Well, it wouldn't be Tomas Hertl because he earns over $8 million.
That is absolutely insane.
And Hertl is a talented player. He's a really good player. If he was playing on a decent team, maybe he's providing value on an $8 million contract. And he's getting paid through until forever. Like this is through until at least 2030. So they're locked into this one. They're also locked into Marc-Edouard Vlasic for another 3 years at $7 million. It's not like awful. Like, they're going to be able to flip this roster. Logan Couture has 4 more years at $8 million. He's not in the lineup tonight. But even then, like, there's not much that you would be picking. Like, I don't think Brad Treliving, we know he likes to call everybody.
Maybe not.
I don't know if he needs to call Mike Greer. I don't know if there's even a player that the San Jose Sharks would never trade before the deadline that you're trying to get on this roster. If I had to pick one, though, Jan Rudo won a Stanley Cup with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's got 2 more years, 2.75. Cut that in half. Maybe he could play in the top 4 for the Maple Leafs. But then I looked at his numbers this year, and he's got a 32% goals for percentage. So he's getting absolutely
he's minus
dummied,
12.
just like everybody else on the San Jose Sharks. Maybe
that's true.
That's the problem, though. If you play for a bad team, it's like impossible to evaluate what you can do as a defenseman, at least in my opinion. But again, this is slim pickings. I don't know if they're going to be able to do much ahead of the deadline.
So maybe no bargain bin shopping from the San Jose Sharks.
No Simone Benoit's on this team.
No, he
at
was
least not
almost.
Detectable.
He was the neighbors, but it was Noah Gregor's old team. So we forgot to mention that in our revenge game.
How'd they let him go?
Maybe we take a look during the break at some Noah Gregor odds. We will take a quick break, though, and on the other side, we'll do the out-of-town scoreboard for you. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
NHL All-Star Thursday is coming to Toronto with 3 exciting events in one star-filled night. First, celebrity captains select their teams in the Tim Hortons NHL All-Star Player Draft. Then, the 1967 Stanley Cup champion Maple Leafs are honored in the NHL Alumni Man of the Year. And finally, the best in women's hockey compete in the Canadian Tire PWHL 3-on-3 Showcase. It's NHL All-Star Thursday on February 1st. Buy tickets now, starting at $44 at NHL.com/Thursday.
Unhibernate, a verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage, I am going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Ontario is building up our nursing workforce. Since 2018, over 60,000 new nurses have registered to work in Ontario. Last year alone, Ontario added over 15,000 new nurses, a record year. Across the province, there's another 30,000 nursing students in school. We're investing millions in new programs that pay for nurses' schooling, books, and equipment, and attracting highly trained nurses from around the world by breaking down barriers so they can get to work sooner. See all the ways we're connecting you to care. Ontario.ca/yourhealth, paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herwin, experienced true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Williamsburg Green is everything you want in a community. Enjoy fabulous trails, parks, playgrounds, sports areas, and more. Our beautiful all-brick homes include luxury features you've always dreamed of, even a fully finished lower level. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Nylander closing in a goal! Scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. In your first intermission, Leafs lead 1-0 after 20 minutes to the San Jose Sharks on the West Coast. Let's take a look at what else is going around. It's a busy night in the NHL, and our NHL scoreboard is presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
2 games in the can already. The Flyers beat the Flames 3-2. John Tortorella just continues to get it done. And the Panthers beat the Avalanche 8-4. Since it's a Bet365 segment, 11-1 Florida Panthers to win the Stanley Cup. That may have gone in earlier today. 6 games ongoing, including the Maple Leafs up 1-0 on the Sharks. The Blue Jackets lead the Wild 2-1. The Bruins are up 2-1 on the Lightning. It's 1-0 Sabres leading the Penguins. 0-0 Canucks and Devils, end of first. And just getting started in the second period, the Canadiens hold a 1-0 lead over the Rangers. Still to come, the Hurricanes will host the Blues. The Stars will host the Predators. The Senators will be in Edmonton, and the Islanders and Golden Knights will square off in Vegas.
2 goals were challenged by the Sabres, and both were called off by the Penguins, so they can't buy one so far. And in PWHL action today, Minnesota had their home opener and set the record for the largest ever women's hockey professional attendance with 13,316 at the XL Energy Center, and they also got a 3-0 win against Montreal.
Your Montreal.
It's all right. I'm just cheering for good crowds and good fun. Grace Zoomwickel got a hat trick and a shutout in Minnesota's pretty good start for those guys.
So good start for Minnesota. Maybe number 1 on the A-list power ratings.
They're up there for sure. All right, Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call of the second period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Let's go, football fans.
This week on Let's Go with Tom Brady and Larry Fitzgerald and me, Jim Gray.
The NFL has kind of changed the schedule, and there's a lot of good football games, and that's what makes it fun to watch. It all matters. One game to determine whether you move on or not. Everyone's put a lot of effort into the season, and I know when I was in that marathon, man, it was hard. It was hard to get to this part of the year.
Listen to Let's Go every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio and anytime on the SiriusXM app.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
That you can get better by getting worse. Bye-bye Laine. Bye-bye Pierre-Luc Dubois. Bye-bye Blake Wheeler. They might have gone from a club to a team. The Jets are better without those guys, maybe, than they've ever been in Atlanta or Winnipeg with Bufflin and Trouba and everybody else.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on SiriusXM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
With Brad Treliving, general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, how would you describe your season?
We've been able to put some points in the bank here, knowing that we're capable of playing much better. You know, that's sort of our focus right now is trying to get a little more consistent in our game and getting our team up to a little higher level of play.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to SiriusXM FC 157.
The Leafs Radio Network.
A 1-0 Toronto lead. Marner from Riley and Nylander when the Leafs had a 2-man advantage. First time in 3 tries that they have had a two-man advantage that they actually scored a power play goal. For the team, it's their 28th power play goal of the season. And for Marner, it was his fourth, 15-22 the time, and 18-3, the Leafs dominating play. Was there a San Jose scoring opportunity?
No, and they had the two shots were early. Third one was a shorthanded rush that Martin Jones was able to knock away. How often do you see it where one player has more shots in a period than the opposition team does in total? That's the way it was. Mitch Marner had 4 shots on goal. The Sharks had 3.
There it is showing on TV. Simon Benoit has turned into a very valuable addition to the team when their soccer little game that goes on for every team does it now before each game in one of the areas in the bowels of the arena. It got caught up in the rafters. He had to climb up a Coca-Cola machine and go and find it. No, not you, Austin. You stay down here on the ground, Mitch. No, I'll get it. I'll get it. Yeah.
How do you describe this injury?
He fell off the Coke machine and has dislocated his shoulder and will be out for 3 months. Oh, great. Well, who was it? Mitch or Matt Stajan?
Somebody got one in the eye.
Got it hit in the eye, and he couldn't play. His eye swole up, and I think it was Matt, if I'm not mistaken. Shot down into the Shark zone off the hop. The Leafs moving from left to right on your radio dial. Marner couldn't come up with it. Matthews works against the boards, but the Sharks are able to dig it out, and it'll be brought by Eberson to center and shot into the Toronto zone. Puck along the near boards for Brody to Riley. Played to the line, brought through center ice by Matthews. Played in on the right side. But it hit a stick and forced the play offside as the pass was for Matthew Nyes. And it'll be brought back into the center ice area. Nyes has been a nice addition. And you can't argue with it. Size, he's been doing a lot. But I know he wants to contribute more offensively. 8 goals, 6 assists, 14 points. And he's been on with Matthews and Marner for a lot of the time. And I'm sure that he is hoping that he is going to be a little more of a contributor offensively, but certainly physicality, working the boards and everything else has been outstanding. Here's Nylander around back of the net, coming out in front, took a shot. That may have grazed the goalpost. They had 4 in the first period. Tavares around back of the net. Still with it. Fanned on a bit of a pass. Tried to get it in front of the net. And then McCabe was unable to come up with it. And it is brought down into the Leaf zone and just rolled in back of the net where Benoit rings the boards with it but can't get it out. Pass in front of the goal was deflected wide. Nylander with skating room. 3-on-2 rush in over the line. Into the slot. Willie, little toe drag. Now works back to the point. Here's a long shot taken there by Giordano that was kicked away by Blackwood. Blackwood, a Thunder Bay native, as it comes back to Giordano again. Near side for Liljegren. Liljegren walks the line, finds his man open. It's Domi. His shot, that was high and has been deflected up into the screen again. And I'm not so sure that didn't hit iron.
Well, luckily, we were talking about the soccer warm-up, the games that players play. Armin sent me a quote after Matt Stajan got hurt. It was from the Leafs general manager at the time. I'm not going to eliminate soccer warm-ups because one guy got a ball in the eye. Ryan Burke. And so they continue.
And so it continues. Yep. Down into the corner and around back of the net. Far corner, the Leafs trying to keep it alive. Holmberg set it around on the wing. Shot by Liljegren, and the man coming to the front, and it was deflected just wide of the net. Giordano back at his own blue line. Got it ahead. Pontus Holmberg unable to come up with it. Shot back into the Toronto zone. And Liljegren, or at least Liljegren will get it to Giordano, and out at center ice it comes. Pass onto the left wing. Domi overskated it. Was able to secure it again. Works down the left wing and flips it in deep. Leafs are changing as Yarncrook is into the forecheck. And LeBanc now trying to work it free, and out come the Sharks as they kind of slow it up at their own blue line. Now make a pass in on the left wing. LeBanc sends it into the right wing corner. Philip Zadina trying to come away with it. Zadina gets it back to the point. Long shot. Blocked in front of the net there by Morgan Riley. Played off the glass up on the wing. And McMahon couldn't get it out initially, but does the second time. But it is shot right back in again by Ferrero into the Leaf zone. Sharks with a little bit of pressure here that has not surfaced very much in this game to this point, as we're almost 3 minutes into the second period. Leafs come away with the loose puck. Out at center ice. Backhanded into the zone by Noah Gregor. Scooped along the boards by Blackwood. McMahon is going to keep it in. Now David Camp in the corner trying to get it back at the net, and sweeping out in front was Matthews, but it went off the side of the goal. Played to the line but not out. Kept alive by Nyes. Matthews couldn't accept the pass cleanly. Nyes down into the corner doing some spade work, but the puck comes free. Everson gets it out, and the Maple Leafs are back to retrieve it, and Marner gets it ahead for Matthews. Matthews pass looking to spring Simon Benoit, but it was off his stick and down into the corner now. And McCabe tries to work it along the boards. He's down deep. The puck comes free, centered in front. Matthews trying to find Marner on the far side, and it was blocked, but kept in at the blue line again. Leafs are buzzing around in the offensive zone once more, and now finally it is cleared out at center ice. Anthony Duclair couldn't get anywhere, and now it's shot in to the Toronto zone.
Boy, San Jose very close to a too many men on the ice penalty.
In the zone it goes again for Marner. Tied up in the corner with Ferrero. He is a Toronto boy. As it comes back to the point, it bounces over Brody's stick, and he's going to have to scamper back into his own end. 1-0 Leafs. 15:36 to play, second period. And a pass back down into the Toronto end. Riley going back after it. Being chased there by Eklund. It goes back to the point. Stolen back by the Maple Leafs. Nylander had a roll off his stick. He's being chased by Barabanov back into the zone, but the Leafs are back there. Now Brody running into a little bit of traffic. Eklund trying to work it back at the net. Here's Hurdle trying to work out in front. Banks it back to the point. Shot coming, and it's high and wide off the glass. Kept in at the point. A shot right on. Stopped there by Martin Jones. That's the fourth shot on goal that the Sharks have managed. Brody at center ice will launch it high on a bounce in on Blackwood. And the Leafs are on a delayed offside situation. They'll head to the bench for a change. And Henry Thrun is back of the Shark net.
We've been in that building where it is deafening, but it is quiet.
Played back into the Toronto end. Leafs bank it off the boards with a lot of authority, and that's going to turn into an icing, as getting back in time was the Shark defenseman.
Martin Jones should still have pretty good relations with the San Jose Sharks. He was bought out in 2021, but still is $2.9 million of his salary still goes against the cap. And when you figure in Erik Karlsson and Brent Burns, San Jose retained salary for those two players as well. $7.13 million on players that no longer play for the Sharks. Yeah.
Draw to the left of Jones in the Toronto zone. Just 1-0 in favor of the Leafs. They've added to their shot total. It's 20-4 now. As a pass by Pontus Holmberg came to center, but Domi couldn't come up with it. Played back in over the line and back down into the Toronto end. Giordano got there first, got it up on the wing, and now Liljegren is able to carry with a pass to center. Yarncrook in against the glass and the boards in the center ice area. Couldn't come up with it cleanly, and the Sharks sent it back into the Toronto zone. Jones leaving it there. Quickly played into the corner for Liljegren. Launched out at center ice for Yarncrook. Chipped along the boards for Camp, but too far for him. And Ty Everson will play it out at center off a Leaf trying to get to the bench. Leafs were... There was some chat there that there was too many men on the ice, but the player had not left the bench when it struck Yarncrook, who was trying to get off the ice. Sharks will bring it back in over the line. Into the slot area and a shot. Good save made by Jones there. Maybe his best save. as getting the shot away was Michael Granlund, but Jones got the left hand up and knocked it down and then was able to cover it up and swallow it up with the catching glove. 1-0 in favor of the Maple Leafs. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Bet365 doesn't do ordinary. That's why they've introduced the Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are all in one place. Check out the Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate, as in while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to uncommon winter confidence.
And a truck with 2 men, and a truck with 2 men, and a truck with 2 men, and a truck. Think 2 men and a truck, 2 men and a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 men and a truck, 2 men and a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men and a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
You know that's game on.
On Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Leafs Radio Network.
They've taken one of the shots away from the Maple Leafs, 19 now to 5 at this point.
The Leafs have controlled the game, but as we mentioned, I mean, you're one power play goal against or one bounce against from having the San Jose Sharks right back in this and little interested. Right now, there just doesn't seem to be a lot of juice from San Jose, does there?
Chipped out at center ice. Leafs play it in over the line. Yeah, they've not had much to do with the offense for sure, have they? Jones has really just had the one tough chance. Round the boards to the far side. McMahon punches it in over the line, trying to get around the defenseman, was knocked down, and the puck comes free, and the Sharks will get it up ahead and brought out on the left wing side for Granlund. Granlund launches it high. It's going to go down into the Toronto zone. Benoit around back of the net for McCabe. Chipped up on the boards then for Gregor. Gregor brings it deeper in his own end and will play it around to the far side for Simon Benoit, who plays it high off the glass just to get it out at center, but it bounces right onto the stick of Noah Gregor, and he got 2 whacks at it, and a good pad save made by Blackwood. Sharks get it back to the Leaf blue line and then bring it in offside as Barabanov. I think he just out of hell with it.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not. We'd have to back check if I go back out here. We'll just take an offside.
It's going to take me off anyway. By the way, when we talked about the Sharks did have a decent stretch, which was late November to mid-December when they went 6-2-2 in a 10-game stretch. Before that, they became the 4th team in NHL history to give up 10 goals in back-to-back games, and they did it at home. Back-to-back games against the Vancouver Canucks and Pittsburgh Penguins, 10-1 and 10-2, and then turned around and went on a bit of a roll.
Long shot deflects wide of the San Jose goal. Back of the net, Nyes tried to come out and wrap it around, but he was met head on right at the goal post, and it's played to center ice. And now trying to make a play to knock it away was Morgan Riley, and he did a nice job there as Nyes finds Matthews. In on the right side, going down the right wing boards, pulls up at the half wall, got it back to the slot. A pass over on the right wing side for Giordano didn't quite work. He gets it back, though, to Matthews. Matthews curling at the blue line. Back it goes to Liljegren, down into the corner. Trying to work it out in front was Giordano. It goes to Nyes. Nyes into the corner. Still with it. Trying to chip it back along, but it is gobbled up and flipped out it to the line, but still not out. Leafs do a nice job there as Giordano keeps it in. So does Nyes. Now Matthews with a backhand, and that went high and wide. Nyes was upset in slot area by Mario Ferrero, and the Sharks have relieved the pressure by icing the puck. And it will be brought back into the Shark zone with 10:43 left to play in the period. One of the interesting things we were looking at is overtime goals in Leaf history. Darryl Sittler scored 389 goals and has 14. That's the franchise high. Nylander and Matthews. Matthews 329 goals, 10 of which are overtime winners. Willie has 196 goals and 10 overtime winners. But the strangest one of all is Thomas Kaberle, who scored just 83 goals. But 10 of them, or 7 of them rather, were overtime winning goals. Leafs bring it in over the line, trying to drop it back. It goes Bertuzzi, working back along the boards, swings it back behind the net. It'll find Nylander on the near half wall. He carries back towards the blue line, still has it. Top of the circle, looking for Morgan Riley, who had crept in. But San Jose stick deflects that up into the crowd and out of play.
And the thing about Kaberle, I believe 4-on-4 was in play when he played for the Leafs, but not 3-on-3. So you just wonder what he could have done 3-on-3. But of course, you know, there was so much talk about Thomas Kaberle would never shoot the puck, and you're going, well, he did 7 times anyway,
that's
when
right.
It was rather important.
No, and it was really, I mean, he was unbelievable at that.
And a great setup for Brian McCabe.
Brian McCabe was, the two of them were peas in a pod, weren't they? Boy, they worked well together. Launched high to center ice. Thomas now has interest in a restaurant down in...
I think he's got 2 or 3.
Yeah, doing a great job. Taking Toronto as his home. Leafs with it back in the center ice area. Pontus Holmberg sends it back to McCabe. They get it up on the left wing. The Leafs have been so much the better team here. It is scary, and yet, as you mentioned, Jim, it's only 1-0 at this point. Knocked down on the play there was Addison. Crowd calling for a penalty that didn't come, and an offside is registered at the blue line, and Addison is upset that he may have taken a bit of a high stick. But the referee, who is Francis Salaron, says nay, and the other referee, Chris Lee, says I didn't say anything. The linesmen are Libor Senchunak and Ryan Daisy. And we will step aside as the Leafs hold a 1-0 lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hi, it's Billy Joel here.
Because you had to be a big shot.
All my music on my very own channel, the Billy Joel Channel.
Billy's. Now for a limited time on Channel 79 and on the Sirius XM app. Included in all trials and popular plans.
24/7 Hockey Talk.
His playmaking this season has been taken to another level. I know that this 11.25 that David Pasternak's making is going to look very cheap. It already does probably this season, but as this cap rises, he's going to be an underpaid player for the years to come. That's how good he is.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. On and off the ice.
Brandon Hagel, he got paid $52 million from the Tampa Bay Lightning. 9 guys on this Lightning team who are currently playing under either 7 or 8 year contracts. I mean, you can't just keep handing these things out. As much as people applaud Tampa for doing these deals, I think we're a year and a half away from just shaking our heads over all of this stuff.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs Radio Network.
9 minutes and 34 seconds to play in period number 2. The Leafs holding a 1-0 lead and out shooting the San Jose Sharks 20-5.
Leafs can't get lulled in. There's not a lot of emotion in this game. San Jose really no pushback, but when you're dancing with just a 1-goal lead halfway through,
you got to keep pressing the accelerator, right? Shot from the point, gloved by Blackwood from the blue line, and he will hold on.
thought it was best to shut up there as the Leafs had control of the puck in the San Jose zone. But right now, the difference in this game is 5-on-3 power play goal for Mitch Marner back in the first period. By the way, Willie Nylander, who picked up an assist on that goal. Nylander now has points in 33 of 37 games this season.
Lots of speculation that a lot of positive work has been done on a contract extension. Now a pass in front of the goal, and Yarncrook couldn't get his stick on it. Comes back to the blue line. Giordano rifles one. That went off a body. Yarncrook controls the rebound. Gets it back to Gio. Another wrist shot coming. That hit a body in front of the net. And it is brought by Luke Kunin to center ice and played down into the Toronto end.
Max Domi might have been calling for a cross-checking penalty as he was leveled from behind when that puck came from the point.
Now Domi through center ice, able to chip it in over the line, but the Sharks have it under control there and play it up ahead for Mario Ferrero. He'll get it down into the Leaf end. Giordano back on the boards for Marner. Marner chopping at it to get it to the line, but not out. Brought right back in again by the Sharks. They work it along the blue line. Now in on the right side, trying to get it out in front, and it was blocked nicely there by Liljegren. The puck is back of the net, and Matthews is able to get it on, and out at center ice it goes to Nyes. Matthew Nyes works to the boards, taken there efficiently though by Hurdle. The puck is around back of the San Jose goal. Up ahead at center for William Eklund. Eklund will play it down into the Toronto end. Forcing Brody back. Brody up against the end boards. The puck comes free. Trying to play it out in front. Hurdle was there, but no one could get him the disc. And Marner now has played it up on the wing, and Morgan Riley extricates that to center ice. And now the Maple Leafs have to get a change going here as it's shot down into the Toronto zone again. Down the boards is Barabanov. Played around on the boards. Cut off there by Marner. Gave the puck away. Barabanov had a chance right at the doorstep, but a quick stick there was able to knock it away. Now Morgan Riley in over the line. He had a man driving the net. Couldn't come up with the puck on his backhand to play it out there. It was Nyes who was driving the goal. Anthony Duclair sends it back into the Toronto end. Up against the boards for Tavares. In on the wing for Riley. Up ahead for Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi to center. Banks it a little bit too far there for Nylander. He chases after his man as Addison got it in the corner. Now it comes back to Willie. Coming out in front. He was literally grabbed onto. No call there. Side of the net for Bertuzzi. A backhand. That looked like it grazed off the goalpost as well. Puck along back of the net. Bertuzzi back to the point. And unable to keep it in was Simon Benoit, who has to go back to his own zone. Got it back to Nylander. Nylander to the line. With all of the puck possession the Leafs have had, it is kind of amazing that there's only been the 2 penalties. Here's a pass in front. Deflects off Tavares wide of the net. Played back to the blue line. Now Liljegren walking the line. Got another shot that was blocked with traffic in front. Giordano trying to pinch. Had it knocked away. Sharks get it out at center ice. Tavares will hustle back and play it ahead as he was covering up for his defense. Here's Camp back in. Got a shot away that was deflected into the corner. Spun around the boards far side for Noah Gregor. Noah Gregor was taken down with a trip. No call there, right in front of the official. Now along the boards, Gregor back on his skates, trying to free it up there for David Camp. He had McMahon in front of the net. McMahon after it as it comes back to the blue line. Kept in by Liljegren. Liljegren to defense partner on the far side, and a long shot is swallowed up there again off the stick of Mark Giordano. And a face-off once more coming in San Jose territory. 5:45 to play second period. And the only goal, a 5-on-3 power play effort by the Leafs in the first period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Move up to Heathwood.
What's up, Leafs fans? Another awesome night here on TSI. Thank you to each and every one of you for hanging out with us. Please don't forget to hit that like button, as it helps bring more Leafs fans into the chat. The more the better. A big shout out to our insiders and VIP members. Your support is truly appreciated. I cannot explain to you what it means for this community. Please consider joining our community. It's only 99 cents a month. I made it as low as possible so that we can get more and more people joining our community. Awesome member exclusive emojis in the chat during these Leafs games, and add your name to the scroll down below. Anyways, enough of the necessary evils to keep growing this amazing Toronto sports community and Maple Leafs community. Back to Leafs hockey. Go Leafs go. I'll see you guys in the chat. Peace.
Truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
John Tavares set up by Willie. The Leafs win it in overtime.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
1-0 Toronto. Second period. 5:45 to play.
Well, how about this? Because we've already got it in, Mitch Marner's already scored, and the Leafs continue their non-shutout streak. That's the games they haven't been shut out. The last time the Leafs were shut out in San Jose, January 9th, 2016. Martin Jones was the goaltender.
Played out at center ice. Sharks organizing. They get it up on the wing. Hoffman in across the line. Had it roll off his stick. Efficiently taken to the boards nicely there by Liljegren. And the Maple Leafs come away with it with a pass that was snapped past the winger and has gone the length of the ice. And an icing call coming here against Toronto.
Now, I do recall poor Peter Horacek. Coaching the Leafs had a 3-game road trip to California and then another game on St. Louis on the way back. The Leafs in those 4 games scored a grand total of 1 goal. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Roman Polak scoring in San Jose. Leafs lost, obviously, all 4 of those games.
That was the we're getting Austin Matthews season.
Yes.
At the point, near side, and a shot from an angle, deflected wide, and it comes all the way back down into the San Jose end. Yeah, when we were traveling, we would run into Peter Horacek, usually in Florida.
You just wanted to hug him.
Oh, you did, yeah. I mean, just a terrific individual. Shot from the point, deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Brody trying to find Pontus Holmberg. Got it up on the wing, but the Leafs don't get it out. Some pressure here from San Jose. Chance for Ferrero to get a shot. That was blocked, and it is banked off the boards and out at center, and racing after it is Marner to deny icing. Marner in the far corner. Spins back, plays it into the near corner. Matthews joins him, sends it back along for Nyes. Nyes took a bit of an elbow trying to get to the boards. Puck comes free. Leafs have it again. Marner at the blue line. Tried to make a pass in there for Morgan Riley, but it was intercepted and shot back down into the Leaf end. Good play by Brody to cover up for Riley, who had jumped into the attack. Now the Leafs lose the puck again, and it's down into the corner in the Leaf zone and around back of the net. Knocked around the boards by Riley's stick, and the Leafs are going to break it out. Nyes for Matthews. In on the right side. Stops up. Works down into the corner. Stops up again. Looks for a replacement. It comes back to the point as the Leafs have changed their defense. A shot went wide of the San Jose goal. Matthews again. Backhanded by Tavares around the boards. It'll come to the left wing side. Benoit in front for Tavares, and he got a shot away, but it was blocked. And now the Sharks get it out, and Duclair working down into the Toronto zone. Duclair plays it around into the near corner, but no one there. Leafs have got it right back out at center. Nyes, who needs to get off, he's been on a while, gets it down into the offensive zone and heads to the bench. Ferrero plays it back into the Leaf end. 3:14 to play in the second period. Leafs up 1-0. And should be up quite a bit more. Now, Bertuzzi failed to connect there with Nylander. Down the boards, Bertuzzi runs into his man. Chipped along the wall and out at center ice. and brought in over the line by Carpenter. His shot easily steered aside by Jones. It comes back along the near boards. The Leafs are going to spin it around back of the net. Giordano is there. Long lead pass, gets ahead to Bertuzzi. He's in over the line. Stops. Works back towards the blue line, then couldn't keep it in the zone, and they'll have to regroup it back, and the Leafs are getting a change of players going. Brody sends it back down into Shark territory. Launched off a body, stolen again by the Maple Leafs, and this time it goes off a stick and up into the screen with 2:22 left to play in the second period. Still just 1-0 in favor of the Maple Leafs as they try to go 3-0 on this California road trip.
And I'm sure in a lot of ways Dave Quinn, the coach of the Sharks, isn't totally upset with the way this game has gone. Yes, they've only had 6 shots on goal, but for a team that has given up more goals than any other in the National Hockey League, you're holding Austin Matthews and company to a single goal, and that goal came on a 5-on-3 power play.
And if you're Sheldon Keefe, you're happy with the way the game is going as well. It's competitive. We have to keep our here's a scramble in front of the Leaf goal as it comes back into the slot, and a shot went just wide and has caromed up into the screen. I started speaking a little too soon, but you'd like a few more, but you like the way the structure is. You like the way the competitive balances is. You're happy that you're able to maintain all of the offensive pressure.
They're not gambling to create chances. It's not. We're gonna.
Their patience is.
Yeah, we're gonna pinch at a 50-50 pinch to try to create offense, even though we're going to give up an odd man rush. That has not been the case, in fact, in this entire trip. I think this, a nice patient outlook, defense first.
Oh, a long shot, blockered nicely away there by Jones. Leafs get it out at center, and McMahon is able to tip it down into the offensive zone. Emberson swinging it around the wall to center. Cleared back into the Toronto end. Hustling after it is Justin Bailey. Taken to the boards by Benoit. It's punched along the wall and come back on the wing, and David Camp is intercepted, and he gets to the red line and shoots it in. Minute 36 to go in the period. Mackenzie Blackwood making a pass. Played back by the Leafs again down into the offensive end. Domi hustling in there after it. Able to play it free. Pontus Holmberg helps out on the left wing. Got it back to the point. Kept in by Liljegren. He can't shoot it. Gives it to his defense partner. Giordano got it off on the wing, and a one-timer there by Holmberg. Big save made by Blackwood. Best scoring chance the Leafs have had here in the second period. Played high to center ice. Knocked down on the play was the Shark player, brought in again by Domi. Domi plays it into the corner. Liljegren is down low. Got away from one man. Plays it back to the point. Giordano walks the line. Gives it back to Liljegren. A shot blocked in front of the net with traffic. Another shot. Scores! It trickles through Blackwood. Yarncrook off the wing. Got a wrist shot away. Blackwood got down. Got it. But then just could not maintain it. And it trickles ever so slowly through him and into the net.
Now Max Domi is giving some high fives. I don't know if Domi touched it or not, but it was Yarncroc that kind of had to chase the puck out to the high slot, and then he turned and spun. And threw it.
Domi's nowhere near.
Nowhere in the area there. In the corner, but there was.
We got a bad shot of him at the bench. He was a little late. He was 3 deep going by. Yep.
It's definitely going to be the Yarncroc. I don't know what the conversation is between the referee and Kelly Yarncroc now over on the Leaf bench.
And if it's Domi, I don't know how he got it. Because there's no question Yarncroc shot the puck. And it is Yarncroc who will get credit for the goal.
Looks like Liljegren and Giordano will pick up the assists on this. By the way, they've taken away one of the shots for the Sharks, so it's now 26-8. Shots favoring the Leafs. I don't think this is any kind of jinx, but the Leafs twice in their storied history held the opposition to 10 shots. That might be 9 there. That kind of slid into Martin Jones from the right wing boards.
Had a chance to maybe get the record. You bring it up, and now look, they're just 1 shot away
from
10.
No, they're not. They haven't given them the other one yet.
Maybe
I think it was more of a pass. Shot of Kelly Yarncroc on the Leaf bench giving the thumbs up to somebody. I don't know if it's maybe one of the trainers.
It's the 10th of the year for Yarncroc.
Yarncroc, his third goal in the last 11 games.
And Domi doesn't even get an assist, so it's not a milestone point or anything. Liljegren and Giordano get the assists as the Sharks bring it back into the Leaf end. Got it off onto the right wing side. Marner going wide. A wrap around attempt came in front of the goal. Good play and a good save made by Jones. And the Maple Leafs are able to carry it to center. One-handed by Matthews deep into the Shark end. And that will do it for the period as time will run out.
What this reminds me of is in Ken Dryden's book, The Game, he talked about the longer that he played for the Montreal Canadiens, the less important he was. Because when he first came in as a rookie, he wins the Conn Smythe Trophy. He's the reason the Canadiens win their first Stanley Cup with Ken Dryden in 1971. So it went from, as his career went on, though, Joe, he went from having to make 8 to 10 great saves a night to making 2 or 3. But the 2 or 3 were just as important, and we're seeing with Martin Jones here. He hasn't been overworked. 10 shots of the final, 3 in the first, 7 in the second. But he's made a couple of key stops that if you don't make them at that time, this game flips around. And it may look like it's an easy night for him, but sometimes it can be a little more difficult keeping your head into the game when you haven't had a lot of activity in your end.
Now, Yarncroc has gone over and spoken to the official, so we'll wait and see. If it hit Domi, it was a long way away from the net.
No, he was in the corner.
Yeah,
almost,
exactly. At any rate, we'll ship it off. We've got Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert's standing by. Maybe they can sort it out. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's Week 18 in the NFL. Playoff spots are on the line, and there's only one place for all the action.
Touchdown! Josh Allen, the beast, has been released!
And that's the Sunday Drive. This is Bill Eckes. Join Steve Torrey and me at noon Eastern for live listen-ins, guests, playoff implications, and coaching news around the NFL.
You know, it's a playoff atmosphere, a really good team.
Spend Week 18 with the Sunday Drive at noon Eastern on NFL Radio Channel 88 and on the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. No coaching experience in Paul Coffey. What's that been like as far as a rather unique fit as an assistant?
If you look at all the things that have improved with our team, and maybe even the most is how well our defense has been playing. Paul's done a great job of communicating with them and getting a message on just playing assertively.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
That you can get better by getting worse. Bye-bye Laine. Bye-bye Pierre-Luc Dubois. Bye-bye Blake Wheeler. They might have gone from a club to a team. The Jets are better without those guys, maybe, than they've ever been in Atlanta or Winnipeg with Bufflin and Trouba and everybody else.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. 24/7 Hockey Talk.
His playmaking this season has been taken to another level. I know that this 11.25 that David Pasternak's making is going to look very cheap. It already does probably this season, but as this cap rises, he's going to be an underpaid player for the years to come. That's how good he is.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. On and off the ice.
Brandon Hagel, he got paid $52 million from the Tampa Bay Lightning. 9 guys on this Lightning team who are currently playing under either 7 or 8 year contracts. I mean, you can't just keep handing these things out. As much as people applaud Tampa for doing these deals, I think we're a year and a half away from just shaking our heads over all of this stuff.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the SiriusXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Leafs.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on SiriusXM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores.
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs lead 2-0 after 40 minutes in San Jose. Final game of a 3-game West Coast road trip. And feeling a little bit more relaxed now that Calle Jarnkrok got that insurance goal with 42 seconds left in the second period, because although the Leafs are crushing the San Jose Sharks in every statistical category, really, they probably didn't want to go into the third period with a 1-0 lead, just because time has, there's history that sometimes you lose to bad teams, and it was starting to feel a little bit anxiety-ridden.
Yeah, Calle scoring in Calle, I think, changes our discussion a little bit in this second period intermission, because as much as the first period was a brilliant one, that second one was kind of a read-through. Like, there wasn't much to write home about either way, I suppose, in that period. But by the end, San Jose was getting absolutely mollywopped in terms of the shots, but kind of had a late flurry, kind of had a couple late flurries, actually. And then you can easily forget about that because Calle Jarnkrok scores a 2-0 goal and the Maple Leafs seem comfortable all of a sudden. But I will say, we were talking about Dennis Hildeby a lot in the pregame show, and we've been talking about him a lot all week. When is it a proper time to put him in the net? Like, it makes sense for him to play in this one. It made sense for him to play in the game against Anaheim as well. But in this game where it's like, hey, you don't see a shot for several minutes on end, and you basically see nothing in the second period until you have to make 3 or 4 really good saves in a row, well, that's when you need a veteran goaltender who can make those stops. So I feel like in some ways the decision to go with Martin Jones justifiable, because these games can be tricky and maybe you need a veteran in there to deal with them.
Sorry to distract you, Justin. My Sportsnet alerts went off on my phone because breaking news from Elliot Friedman, who just reported this during Hockey Night in Canada. The Maple Leafs and star winger William Nylander are closing in on a new 8-year contract extension with an average annual value of around $11.5 million. Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman reported. The contract which would begin next season, puts Nylander among the highest paid forwards in the NHL. The 27-year-old bet on himself this season and is expected to pay off in a big way. His previous contract was 6 years, $45 million deal, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I assume, we're on the air. Elliot Friedman is on the air right now with Hockey Night in Canada and has made an announcement and a statement that they are closing in. And I know this was rumored for the last little while, but if Elliot's saying that it's closing in, it's, I would say, on the goal line almost, just waiting to be kicked over.
And coordinating Sportsnet alerts. So I'm sure.
The fact that Sportsnet sent that out, I feel like,
at the same time that he's talking about it. So, yeah, I mean, definitely Elliot's feeling a certain way about the reporting and the information he's getting. AAV will be about 11.5 on an 8-year deal is what the speculation is.
11.5.
So, we've kind of tiptoed around this discussion all week as well, because it was reported at the start of the week by Nick Kypreos first, and Elliot was talking about it as well. I mean, 11.5 is a lot of money. 11.5 is slightly more than his buddy David Pasternak's making. 11.5 is $500,000 more, a little bit more than that, than what Mitch Marner is making. It puts him in the upper echelon of earners in the NHL. And I know these things do change, and a lot of guys are going to sign contracts before William Nylander's is through, if and when this gets done, and it's 8 years. But there is no bargain here. Like 11.5 right now, if you're signing on an 8-year deal, is full value for pretty much anyone in the NHL. And that's a credit to William Nylander, who's had that sort of season, surfacing in the top 5 recently in scoring. I believe he was 6th yesterday. I would have to check if he dropped one notch there. But a top 10 scorer in the NHL right now, those guys make a lot of money. And if he's committing 8 years, you're going to have to pay up. And Brad Treliving may be paying more than he expected. But if he can get this done, I think it would take a lot of weight off the new general manager's shoulders.
So Elliott's saying that the extension could come as soon as Monday. So assuming they fly home tonight, they're back Sunday sometime. They get around to signing some papers. Maybe the announcement is Monday, just in time for the fan pregame, 6 p.m. on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, now things are starting to trickle in after Elliott was talking on Saturday headlines on Hockey Night in Canada, saying that they're getting close. They're right around the corner. 8 years, maybe $11.5 million extension. It was funny, the other day it was 11.25, so maybe, 2 goals the other night makes it 11.5.
Yeah.
You better sign this thing quick because soon it'll be maybe 12, maybe 13. So you want to get on the dotted line before he scores a couple more goals.
Yeah, it could be quite the week for William Nylander. I believe we'll be getting some all-star news next week in terms of the next 12 that are getting in. It might be the week after, but if we're talking about a month or a week or just good times for William Nylander, going to an all-star game, securing the bag, at least $88 million if it's 11 plus, it's probably a good time to be William Nylander.
All right, we got to take a quick break, and on the other side, we'll do the NHL scoreboard and maybe wrap up some more thoughts on the actual game because, Willie and Elliott kind of derailed us. Oh, it is still 2-0. Not too much more to report. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The stars.
Austin Matthews.
The skills.
Oh, that's a good one.
The 6.
Beautiful city of Toronto.
Hockey fans, the Rogers NHL All-Star Game is coming to Toronto. Be part of the action at the Hyundai NHL Fan Fair, February 1st through the 4th at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. Take your picture with the Stanley Cup, meet NHL All-Stars and alumni, play hockey games, party with the NHL mascots, and much more. Buy tickets now at nhl.com/fanfare tickets.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like solivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate, as in while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to uncommon winter confidence.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
And more at heathwood.com.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey.
Got it into the slot now for Knies, who scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Maple Leafs lead 2-0 after 40 minutes on their final game of the West Coast swing in San Jose. A couple other games on the network. Let's take a look. The NHL scoreboard is presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Yep, 2 games are already completed. The Flyers beat the Flames 3-2, and the Panthers doubled up the Avalanche 8-4. 8 others ongoing right now. Maple Leafs up 2-0 on the Sharks. It's 2-2 Wild and Blue Jackets. 4-3 the Bruins have a lead over the Lightning in a good one. Sabres holding a 1-0 lead over the Penguins in the second intermission. The Canucks in the Hughes Bowl up 4-2 on the Devils. It's 3-2 Canadiens leading the Rangers. The Blues and Hurricanes are 1-1 through 1. And the Predators up 1-0 over the Stars in the first intermission. Still to come, the Oilers will host the Senators in the second half of the back-to-back on Hockey Night in Canada. And the Golden Knights will host the Islanders.
Maple Leafs 20 minutes away, if they can hold on strong, to completing a West Coast sweep, something that they have either done fully or done 0% of, winning all 3 or losing all 3. So hopefully they can keep the trend and get this one tonight. And we had our player to watch earlier, the Bet365 player to watch, which is Martin Jones, and we bet a specific amount of goals to be scored. We won't jinx it, but we are close to that number.
And if nothing changes,
it
will cash.
We may cash that number for you. But there's still 20 minutes to be played, and Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call of the third period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Quiet your mind, reduce your stress, and rest easy with channels designed to help you fall asleep easier and faster. In the SiriusXM app, sink into the comforting white noise of the storm shower on Rainfall Radio. Fade out to the soothing sounds of the Sleep Channel, or drift off to the nature sounds with Forest Dreams. Find them all in the SiriusXM app, included with all trials and popular plans. Just search Sleep.
NHL Morning Skate.
Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. No coaching experience in Paul Coffey. What's that been like as far as a rather unique fit as an assistant?
If you look at all the things that have improved with our team, and maybe even the most is how well our defense has been playing. Paul's done a great job of communicating with them and getting a message on just playing assertively.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Leafs.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Leafs Radio Network.
Maple Leafs will carry a 2-0 lead into the third period against the San Jose Sharks. Marner from Riley and Nylander in the first period when the Leafs scored on a 5-on-3 for the first time this season. And then an even strength goal at 19:17 of the second period. Järnkrok his 10th from Holmberg and Liljegren. And much of the support for the Domi situation on that goal was his hustle to get down there to deny an icing and keep the puck alive. And the Leafs ended up scoring the goal to make it 2-0.
I'm sure that's why Kelly Järnkrok gave the thumbs up to the camera and the penalty box on the other side.
So William Nylander, according to the Frege, is on the verge of maybe even Monday signing an $11 million 8-year contract.
Apparently a lot of it has to do with the third period.
You think?
He hasn't done a whole lot in this one.
No. Well, just one assist. So, yeah, he better pick up his shorts here because this is not how an $11 million player is Well, he's had a tremendous season, and he is one of the premier stars in the league.
Like we said, I mean,
and the Leafs are banking that cap is going to go nowhere but up in the next little while to allow for other people to actually participate on the team, too. And next time it'll be Tavares and Marner as the Sharks get in with a sharp angle shot that go off the goal post as well. Went wide of the net.
Short side on Martin Jones. And the puck clanked off the iron behind him and came out the other way.
Morgan Rielly circles back in his own end. Got it up on the wing and flipped it to the blue line, but not out, and played high into the center ice area and down into the Shark zone. And an icing call coming here.
Leafs only outshot the Sharks 8-7 in the second period. And we get another look at that. That was Thomas Hertl that sniped it off the post in behind Martin Jones.
Boy, the Sharks had such a tremendous run of success getting into the postseason, winning a round or two, but never getting the ultimate prize. And obviously Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau were huge parts of that. Yep. Now here are the Sharks back in, working from a sharp angle. Jones is there to clutch the goal post, and then Granlund's shot is swallowed up and held for a face-off again in the Toronto end. But the Sharks have started with some push here and now have a dozen shots on goal.
Leafs have got to realize you still have 20 minutes of work to go before you can relax. And they said the one thing you don't want is San Jose to give any reason whatsoever to get excited about this game. Martin Jones has done a pretty good job of sealing off the bottom of the net.
Sharks win the draw, get a shot from the point. That's steered wide, played in around back of the net, and the Leafs in the corner as McCabe is there, scrumming it up against the boards. The puck comes free, and a shot is stopped there by Jones, and the Leafs trying to move it out, get it up ahead, and McMahon trying to punch it along the boards, gets it down into Shark territory. Bobby McMahon now to Noah Gregor, back to the point, shot coming, that was blocked. There's a big rebound, and unable to handle it was Blackwood, and now the Sharks have been forced just to launch it high to center ice. Played back off a stick into the San Jose end. Yarncrook hustles in after it. Puck goes back of the goal for Mike Hoffman, and Hoffman will get it ahead. Leafs intercept. Shoot it right back in again. Blackwood punching it along the boards to get it on the right wing. Luke Kunin got it out, but the Leafs have it again, and they have it in on the left wing, and this time Domi sends it into the corner for Yarncrook. Helping out there is Pontus Holmberg. Got it back to the point. Just kept in by the Maple Leafs. Domi comes away with it. Half boards back to the point. Giordano shot in traffic. Blockered away by the goaltender into the near corner. Holmberg there again. Holmberg curls out. Still with it. Back to the point. Leafs. Liljegren mishandles it. It goes down into the zone. And goaltender Jones comes out and cautiously works his way around the non-trapezoidal areas and is able to get it freed up for his defense, who get it out. Brought on by Marner. Marner will flip it down into the area back of the San Jose goal. In goes Nyes and Matthews. Nyes got it to Matthews, who tried to return the favor, but it's back of the net. And Thrun is there for the Sharks to get it up on the right wing. LeBanc got it out at center. Backhanded into the zone by Carpenter. Leafs are back after it. We're coming up on 4 minutes played in the third period. 2-0 Toronto. Matthews had it knocked off his stick. Hertl tries to make a pass to the line, and in on the left wing it goes. Nice play by Brody to knock it away. Finds Rielly, who finds Marner, who backhands it high to center ice. Nyes trying to get around the bit of interference work done there by Emberson. And it is played now by the Sharks back down into the Leaf end. Marner going back. Pulls the brakes on. Tried to send it back along the boards for Benoit. That created a traffic jam. Puck is still up against the wall as it's spun around to the blue line. Ty Emberson goes D to D, then back to him. Stand on the shot. May have broken his stick. And the puck goes down into the corner. Leafs get it along the boards. Kept in there by Barabanov to the left wing side, and a drive well wide of the net. Rick O'Shea's all the way down the ice into the San Jose end.
They've really been caught out in some long shifts. Mitch Marner was almost a minute 30 on that last one.
Sharks lose the handle on the puck, but a shot by Tavares went off the toe of his stick and went harmlessly into the corner. Now San Jose gets it back down into Toronto territory. Zetterlund dropping it off, trying to drive the net. Addison goes around back of the goal, being forced. It comes off the stick. Shot from the blue line. Ow, that went off Giordano. And it's going to be cleared ahead by Liljegren. Nylander in. Couldn't get a backhand. Goes down around back of the net with it, though. Still has it on his stick. Does a nice bit of physical work there to free it up and get it back behind the goal. Now Riley pinches in. It comes into the slot. Morgan Riley couldn't get to it. Granlund for San Jose. 5 minutes played in the third. Still 2-0 Toronto. Played up on the right side. Long lead pass goes to center, in across the line. A pass knocked into the corner for the Leafs in their zone. Brody frees it up and banked ahead, and now McMahon gets it to center. He'll find Noah Gregor. Gregor got a shot away, but it was deflected wide of the San Jose goal. Played off a stick to center. McCabe plays it back. Too well covered. Got some help from McMahon, but the Sharks are able to tip it down into the Leaf end. Simon Benoit getting it around the boards. A lead pass. Fed ahead at center and across the line for Pontus Holmberg. Nice play in front, and then Yarncrook spun and got a shot away, and Blackwood made the save. Back to the net.
Moved by Holmberg, wasn't it?
Was it ever? Back to the point for Benoit, to his defense partner, and a shot in traffic is deflected wide of the net by Holmberg. And played ahead. Now San Jose will get it out at center and bounce it down into the Leaf end. McCabe challenged in the corner by LeBanc. The puck comes free. Back to the point. Sharks keeping it in. Near side for Ruta. Long shot went wide of the goal. Far side for Henry Thrun. He works into the slot, dropping it back to the point again for Ruta. Back into the corner once more for Thrun. Back to the point. Long shot. Kicked away by Jones. It's been a workmanlike performance again for Martin Jones, but this whole road trip has been just that. Back to the point again. Long shot. Kicked and then smothered under the pad of Jones to hold for a face-off. It is 2-0 in favor of the Maple Leafs here in San Jose. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Let's go, football fans. This week on Let's Go with Tom Brady and Larry Fitzgerald and me, Jim Gray.
The NFL has kind of changed the schedule, and there's a lot of good football games, and that's what makes it fun to watch. It all matters. One game to determine whether you move on or not. Everyone's put a lot of effort into the season, and I know when I was in that marathon, man, it was hard. It was hard to get to this part of the year.
Listen to Let's Go every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio and anytime on the SiriusXM app. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. The Power Play with Steve Coulias.
That you can get better by getting worse. Bye-bye Laine. Bye-bye Pierre-Luc Dubois. Bye-bye Blake Wheeler. They might have gone from a club to a team. The Jets are better without those guys, maybe, than they've ever been in Atlanta or Winnipeg with Bufflin and Trouba and everybody else.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs 2 and the San Jose Sharks no score. Anthony Duclair, drafted by the New York Rangers, has been well-traveled in the National Hockey League with stops in Arizona, Chicago, Columbus, Ottawa, Florida, and now San Jose.
Pretty good year with the Panthers a couple of years ago.
Yep. Had 23 goals with Ottawa in 2019-20. Played down into the Leaf zone, side of the goal into the corner. Ruta trying to work it around the boards to the defense for Emberson. He'll play it down along the boards. Comes back to Thomas Hertel to the left wing side. Shot was partially blocked, but the Leafs do a decent job of clearing the puck, but they don't get it out as it's kept in at the blue line, but now intercepted by Morgan Riley and quickly fed ahead for David Camp, and he'll launch it high into the right wing corner and peel to the bench. Yarncrook over the boards, so is Domi. The puck up on the left wing, brought on by Granlund. Granlund for the Sharks, curls at the blue line. Just did keep it in against Benoit, but the Leafs play it back out into the center ice area. Now the Leafs with Domi in on the left wing. Got a shot away. That may have grazed the crossbar again, as the Leafs have hit, by my count, 6 goalposts as a long shot is swallowed up by Mackenzie Blackwood.
Well, at least
Am I
one
wrong?
against,
6?
No, it's got to be at least 6. And this time, Max Domi, middle of the ice. After the puck was turned over, nice little pass he got from Holmberg.
You know that little skip he has when he starts? Yep. That's his dad. Hey, that skating style, every time I see that little skip
Ty
that starts,
was an underrated skater.
Oh, no, Ty was a terrific skater. Ty was a terrific skater, which is one of the reasons why he got in on the forecheck and created mayhem. But that little skip is so much like his dad's. It's fun to see. Sharks win the face-off, carry to center ice. Zetterlund in on the left wing. Good job by Giordano to get back and carry him into the corner. Now the Sharks punch it up on the wing, but the Leafs are able to push it out at center, and Matthews rolls it in over the line but couldn't get any deeper. Now back comes Zetterlund again. Nice play to get into the slot area, but there is so much traffic there, including Nyes, that there was no chance to get a shot away. Good back checking by the Maple Leafs, clogging things up. Goes back down into the Shark end. Around back of the net with 11:30 to play in the third period. The Leafs nursing a 2-0 lead on goals from Marner and Yarncrook. Trying to sweep the series in California for the third time in the last 6 years. Puck along the boards, trapped by Emberson, sent back down into the corner. Now Marner, bodied but able to come away from the scrum, elevates the puck to the blue line, kicked by Nyes to center ice. Tried to go back there after it, forces it a little deeper, but now Emberson will try to play it up now for the Sharks to get it to the Leaf line and back in. Nylander hustling back after it, tried to backhanded it right out in front of the net, but the only people there were the guys in the white jerseys. Now Bertuzzi in with a shot. That was deflected by the glove of Blackwood, and it went wide and comes back to center ice. Nylander is going to regroup the puck, and Benoit will drop it back. Played ahead at center. Nylander in on the right side, scores! Willie Nylander coming down the right wing, just did get past the defenseman and snaps it home. And holy Mackinac, the Leafs with a 3-0 lead. And Nylander, if in fact that contract's coming around on Monday, is celebrating early.
Either that or you might want to renegotiate again. Nylander, 2 points on the night. This is a nice little pass from Tyler Bertuzzi. He's on the far boards, right in front of the San Jose Shark bench. Bertuzzi gets it, standing still, looks up and sees Nylander with speed. Heading through the neutral zone, he puts it right on Nylander's stick, right wing side, and Willie Nylander in Rick Vive territory. Not the big slapper, but off the wing beats Mackenzie Blackwood to give the Leafs the 3-0 lead.
20th of the year for Willie, as shot taken then by McCann rather, went over top of the net. And the Leafs are back in their own zone. They've scored one in each of the periods, and they have a 3-0 lead here in San Jose. Well, they're in San Jose. Brought out at center ice and shot down into the Toronto zone. Trying to work the boards there was Ruta. It's pinned to the wall. And the Leafs would just as soon keep it there for 10 minutes, but the officials have decided to blow the play dead. So a face-off coming in neutral ice when we return. Willie Nylander has added to the list of goal scorers for the Maple Leafs as they have a 3-0 lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience a new level of luxury at Williamsburg Green. Your new single-family home will have all the modern features you dream about, even a fully finished lower level. Kitchener's newest master plan community with bike trails, parks, and a new library. Williamsburg Green has it all. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Unhibernate. Verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage, I am going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. On Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Well, Simon Benoit has to make a decision as to who gets the belt if this score holds up. He might just say, you know what, I'm going to keep it myself because I just got my first point as a Maple Leaf. He draws the secondary assist on the Nylander goal. So Simon Benoit is on the board. It's official. He has a point this season. And he'll get chided about that, I'm sure, as the puck comes down into the Toronto zone. A shot taken there by Addison was blocked. It comes back to the point. Another drive. That's well wide of the goal. Half the period in the books. Leafs with a 3-0 lead. And Brody trying to work his way around the official and got it back along the boards for Camp, who was able to backhand it off a body and get it to center ice. Just the looking after detail for the Maple Leafs in this road trip has been so impressive. They play in their own end.
Yeah, I don't
getting
think
the puck out, moving, having chances at goal. Obviously, the shot totals have been impressive, but I think more importantly, the shot totals against have been that much more impressive. Do you not agree?
Well, I think if you would have said before the road trip they'd have scored 7 goals in regulation into the third period of the third game, you'd be thinking they could be in some trouble.
Shot from the point. That was blocked. The rebound trickled wide of the goal on the far side. Kept in, though, by San Jose. Duclair in the near corner. He tries to work back at the net. Put the brakes on. Still has it. Comes out on his forehand. Back to the point. A long shot. Blocked again in front of the net. Centered in front. And they score. Michael Granlund in front of the net. Lifts it over the blocking glove of Jones. There'll be no shutout tonight for the Leafs as Granlund is on the board and the Sharks are down 3-1.
Maybe the most impressive shift of the night for the San Jose Sharks. They got a bit of a break. A shot was deflected in front, went off the back of Kelly Yarncroc, who was standing with his man in front of the net. But then Zetterlund was the one that was able to pick up the rebound, and he just slid it back door to Michael Granlund, who chipped it into the empty side, blocker side on Martin Jones. And on their 17th shot of the game, here late the third period, the San Jose Sharks make it 3-1.
5th goal of the season for Granlund.
Boy, how big was that goal by Nylander now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You don't think it's a big deal. And by the way, shots on goal, what are we at, 29-18 now, favoring the Toronto Maple Leafs. If you think this isn't exactly been a barn burner in your estimation as far as scoring chances and great plays, it is not the most boring Toronto-San Jose game in San Jose in history. That would be, Mr. Bowen, November the 4th, 1997.
Yeah.
Nothing tie. Between the Leafs and the San Jose Sharks. Glenn Healy started the game left in the third period. We got his hand cut. Marcel Cousineau came in.
Because?
Felix Potvin was in Calgary waiting for the team to play the next night.
Centering pass, knocked away, another shot taken, and Blackwood got a piece of that as Nylander tipped it again.
Mike Vernon, by the way, got the shutout for the
Now
Sharks.
here's a break chance for Bailey and on goal, and that was knocked away by Jones.
First chance off the rush, maybe for San Jose tonight.
Yeah, I think. Off the boards and off the official. It goes out of the reach of Bertuzzi, who goes to the bench. Now, puck goes high off a stick and into the crowd. And a face-off with 7 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the third period will come in the neutral zone. So Martin Jones, who whitewashed the Los Angeles Kings the other night and gave up just the one goal to Anaheim in the game a couple of nights ago, has given up a goal here, and it is 3-1.
Still lots of time to go, though. We saw that Colorado was down 3-0 to Florida early in the first period. They tied it by the midway mark of the second before losing 8-4.
Emberson draws the additional assist as a pass comes back. Shot by Benoit was blocked. He knocks the puck up on the boards, but it's cleared out at center, and Marner, backing up the pinching defenseman, goes back to recover the puck. Gets it around the boards to the left wing side and out by Matthews to a long right wing feed, but well out of the reach of Marner. And the Sharks have it again in their own zone, and Emberson gets it out at center. Chipped ahead. Nyes across the line, out of the reach of Matthews. Played around back of the net. Granlund will hold up. Nyes missed him with a hit. And the Sharks get it out at center, and it's brought in over the line by Fabian Zetterlund. He'll get it down into the corner. Leafs take it away. Matthews trying to move it up the boards. Does to Noah Gregor. Gregor trying to get his stick freed up. Finds a pass available to Riley, who will dump it in. Down in the near trapezoidal area that comes around the wall, and now out at center ice it comes. Played to the lead blue line. And again, it is Giordano doing a nice job there of breaking it up. Got it ahead for Noah Gregor. He gets it in over the line and peels to the bench. Pass back up on the wing. And across the line, a long shot, easily steered aside, and Yarncrook on the right wing plays it ahead. McMahon chipping it in. Camp remains on the ice as he goes after the puck in the corner. Chipped along the boards then by Yarncrook. Camp back of the goal, had it taken away by Henry Thrun, and Thrun gets it up on the left wing, and out come the Sharks at center ice with Kunin in with a shot that was off a body, went wide of the net. 5:14 to play, third period. Leafs 3 and the Sharks 1. And the Leafs trying to nurse this one home to complete a sweep of California. Domi sends it into the slot area. Holmberg couldn't settle it down, but gets it back to the point. On his backhand, McCabe sending it around back of the net. Sharks are able to come up with it. And they're going to skate it out at center, only to have it stolen back. And now here's Nylander trying to chip it in. He gets it down into the corner, hustles in there against Thrun. Puck comes free, and the Sharks are going to get it ahead. Nylander's 2 points tonight give him 53 on the season. He leads the team in that department. Austin Matthews next with 45. Mitch Marner with 39 does not have or has a goal tonight, so he has 40 points on the season with 15 goals. Hate when I have to do a lot of fast mathematics. Played ahead by Bertuzzi and backhanded down into the Shark zone. It's caught by Blackwood. He's going to hold on.
Not to mention follow it up with a little reading on air.
Thank you. At any rate, it is a 3-1 Toronto lead. And I think we're going to a commercial break. We are. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The playoff mentality to come in here with one job in mind and just to find a way to win.
It's the final week of the NFL regular season, and playoff hopes are on the line.
They win it at home, and now
the playoff chances still live.
Who advances? Who goes home? We're previewing all the key matchups and playoff scenarios right now on NFL Radio Channel 88.
They're already in playoff mode as their season is on the line.
As the drama plays out, hear every game with the hometown announcers on your radio and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7 Hockey Talk.
His playmaking this season has been taken to another level. I know that this 11.25 that David Pasternak's making is going to look very cheap. It already does probably this season, but as this cap rises, he's going to be an underpaid player for the years to come. That's how good he is.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. On and off the ice.
Brandon Hagel, he got paid $52 million from the Tampa Bay Lightning. 9 guys on this Lightning team who are currently playing under either 7 or 8 year contracts. I mean, you can't just keep handing these things out. As much as people applaud Tampa for doing these deals, I think we're a year and a half away from just shaking our heads over all of this stuff.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Radio Network.
The Leafs 3, the San Jose Sharks 1.
Well, with Willie Nylander now with his 20th goal of the season, it is the first time that a pair of Leaf teammates have hit the 20-goal mark through the first 37 games. Last time it was done, Dave Andreychuk and Wendell Clark, 93-94.
Played it. Oh, that was a great year. Played down into the corner. Every Leaf fan would gladly see that kind of a postseason equaled, maybe with one more stop.
Or 2.
Yep. Played off the boards and down into the corner. It goes. Tavares trying to free it up there for Nylander. Got it back to Bertuzzi. Bouncing puck to Behave. Sends it in front, fast in front. Oh, what a save by Blackwood. And now it's into the net. Oh, I feel awful for him. But Willie Nylander's going to get the goal. But what a performance. What a save by Mackenzie Blackwood. And then it goes back to Nylander, who's able to bank it in off the goaltender and in. And the Leafs have a 4-1 lead.
Great little bit of give and go between Willie Nylander and John Tavares. It turns out to be a 2-on-0 from the top of the crease. Nylander threw it over to Tavares, then got it back, and that's when Blackwood had to make a spectacular save. Was starting back to his left, and then had to throw his blocker and right pad out to make the save. Puck goes off the backboards. Nylander gets it back and banks it in off the San Jose goaltender, and you're right. It's been a tough year for the San Jose goaltenders. And you see a save like that. I mean, first of all, you got to be a little upset with Nylander and Tavares on the ice that there's a 2-on-0
down low,
5 feet in front of you.
Sharks get it in over the line. Can't get a shot at the net, though. And with 3 minutes left to go in this game, it is back out into the center ice area. Nylander with his 21st goal of the season. And the Maple Leafs are cruising this one home. And they host the Sharks on Tuesday night. And as Jimmy mentioned, a bit of a ironic twist that back-to-back games with a Western opponent that hasn't been done in quite some time. Chipped off the boards for Yarncrook. He played it ahead. Domi got it in over the line. And Pontus Holmberg almost stole it from the defenseman to get behind and get a chance at net. Leafs get it back in their own zone now and organizing. Offside at the blue line will stop play, and a faceoff coming in neutral ice.
Last time I can remember, and I haven't gone through all the seasons since, but it was in 2003. The Leafs played in Vancouver on a Saturday night, beat the Canucks 5-3, and then came home and played the Canucks on a Tuesday night. Last time I can remember a West Coast Leaf game back-to-back that was in the postseason. I'm not even sure they did that during the games in the bubble in the All-Canadian division.
Yeah. Now, I wonder if the folks in San Jose are as upset about the early start time tonight as Vancouver fans seem to be whenever the Leafs are there enforcing the early start to the game. I think it's great.
Oh, yeah.
Go to the
I wouldn't
afternoon,
mind.
get the game in, go out for dinner afterwards. You got a great night planned. But
I don't even know if it's as much they don't like the start time, but why they changed the start time.
Yeah, because it's the Leafs, right? Yeah, it's television, and it's yes, we're going to get the. But what a performance, Blackwood. But Nylander gets his second. Tavares will draw an assist on the goal, as will Bertuzzi. And the Leafs with a 4-1 lead to close this one out with 1:44 to go.
In fairness, we've had some 8 o'clock starts because of American television that we weren't thrilled with those.
No. Well, if they said we're going to start at 6, we'd be overjoyed. At the point, a drive from the point rings off the goalpost. That's 7 on the night for the Maple Leafs. LeBanc back into the Toronto zone. Bouncing puck sent in front. Quickly shot out and down the ice by the Maple Leafs. There'll be an icing charge with 1:25 to go in the third period on this game. The goal for Nylander comes at 16:28.
Well, the Leafs 18 shots in the first period. They've only had 16 since. They've scored 3 on the 16 over the last couple of periods, including a couple here in the third.
4 goals and 2 assists in 3 games for Willie Nylander.
Austin Matthews only 1 in the trip.
Wraparound attempt swallowed up by Jones. And again, a faceoff coming in the Toronto end.
Only 1 on the trip, but it was a rather important one. It was the overtime winner against Anaheim on Wednesday. A little bit of everything tonight. Although Matthews still not on the score sheet from a Leaf standpoint, I'm not sure he's going to get another shift with 1:14 to go. You know, the fourth line's been pretty good as well with McMahon, David Camp.
Yes, it has. Yep.
And Noah Gregor.
Sharks play it down in around back of the net. Reverse pass goes right by defenseman Ty Emberson and is going to come all the way back into the center ice area. Final bit of this game ticking down with 55 seconds left to go in it. Long shot, gloved by Jones. And, you know, you talk about all of the stuff that's gone on with Ilya Samsonov. Here's Martin Jones, been thrust in, said, no, play back-to-back games, play the whole trip. He's going to allow 2 goals in 3 games. He came in with a save percentage of .930. That's going to go up. Whether Hildeby gets an opportunity to play at home on Tuesday, there's really no reason for him to do that. Jones has not been overworked by any stretch of the imagination.
No, the only way, I think, is we're ticking down here now, you've got to guard against the what if Martin Jones is next when it comes to an injury or something negative happening. Does that force you to go back to Ilya Samsonov right away? Or should Hildeby get a game or 2 just in case? By default, he becomes your number 1 guy.
Yep. Played at center ice. Sharks get it to the line and in. Holding and a wrist shot. Blocked nicely there by Liljegren. Pontus Holmberg gets it back to him, who spins it ahead for Domi. 6 seconds left. The Leafs are going to get it to center ice. Yarncrook is just going to hold on to it and let the time run out. Martin Jones picks up his 7th win. And his goals against average that started at 2.20 will go down, and his save percentage that started at .930 is going to go up. And our Molson 3 stars tonight are...
Well, let's start with star number 3. I think we'll go Martin Jones. We just talked about him and how solid he has been. And especially in these games, you've got to guard against the bad one that is going to get San Jose excited about the game and maybe have your team have to battle against that kind of letdown. Martin Jones stopped 23 of 24, had a fabulous trip. Just 2 goals against in the 3 games. Star number 3. Star number 2, Kelly Yarncroc. He does score the second goal of the game for the Leafs, but I thought he was very noticeable, getting in on the forecheck, forcing some turnovers. And star number 1, You want to do it?
Fairly obvious. If he's signing a big deal on Monday, he celebrated a little bit early.
Yeah, his next autograph could be a big one, but for Willie Nylander, a 3-point night, and as we mentioned, he's to get points in all but 4 games this season, I think is incredible. So
the consistency.
Yeah, Willie gets the nod again. Sometimes wasn't noticeable in some shifts. But when the game was on the line, it seems that Willie Nylander is the guy that's going to come up with the big ones.
So there you have it. The Maple Leafs winning it by a score of 4-1. We hope you will join us on Tuesday when these two teams collide once again. This time at Scotiabank Arena. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock. We'll ship it off to the post-game show as Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert will put the finishing touches to it. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
It's Week 18 in the NFL. Playoff spots are on the line, and there's only one place for all the action.
Touchdown! Josh Allen, the beast, has been released!
And that's the Sunday Drive. This is Bill Eckes. Join Steve Torrey and me at noon Eastern for live listen-ins, guests, playoff implications, and coaching news around the NFL.
You know, it's a playoff atmosphere, a really good team.
Spend Week 18 with the Sunday Drive at noon Eastern on NFL Radio Channel 88 and on the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, no coaching experience in Paul Coffey. What's that been like as far as a rather unique fit as an assistant?
If you look at all the things that have improved with our team, and maybe even the most is how well our defense has been playing. Paul's done a great job of communicating with them and getting a message on just playing assertively.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
With Brad Treliving, general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs. How would you describe your season?
We've been able to put some points in the bank here, knowing that we're capable of playing much better. You know, that's sort of our focus right now is trying to get a little more consistent in our game and getting our team up to a little higher level of play.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked on Leafs, part of
What's up, Leafs fans? Another awesome night here on TSI. Thank you to each and every one of you for hanging out with us. Please don't forget to hit that like button as it helps bring more Leafs fans into the chat. The more the better. A big shout out to our insiders and VIP members. Your support is truly appreciated. I cannot explain to you what it means for this community. Please consider joining our community. It's only 99 cents a month. I made it as low as possible so that we can get more and more people joining our community. Awesome member exclusive emojis in the chat during these Leafs games, and add your name to the scroll down below. Anyways, enough of the necessary evils to keep growing this amazing Toronto sports community and Maple Leafs community. Back to Leafs hockey. Go Leafs go. I'll see you guys in the chat. Peace.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
Radio Network. Leafs sweep the West Coast, a 3-1 win against the San Jose Sharks before they head home and play the San Jose Sharks. And it's Martin Jones once again with a win on the road in his old home. He had 3 wins this trip, 2 goals against. Pretty good stats for a guy that was your third-string goaltender getting an opportunity to play for a team that needed somebody to step up, and that's exactly what he's done.
Yeah, impossible to second-guess the decision-making, I suppose. We talked a lot about Dennis Hildeby, but when Martin Jones turned in the efforts that Martin Jones was able to turn in, I mean, there's no reason to second-guess it at all. I mean, the Maple Leafs have found a goaltender for at least the present. I don't know what it means in the future. I don't know what it means a month from now. But right now, Martin Jones is everything that this team needs. Not that this was an overly taxing effort. Not that he was the be-all, end-all. But Martin Jones just continues to measure up, continues to answer the bell, continues to be everything for the Maple Leafs.
I will say, after Elliot Friedman on Hockey Night in Canada made the soon-to-be announcement about William Nylander probably signing, maybe Monday, $11.5 million 8-year contract.
Was his speculative report, yeah.
William Nylander went on to score 2 goals, so Elliot might have to owe Brad Treliving a little bit more money because maybe it inspired Willie, who put 2 more in the net right after that announcement. Felt inevitable.
He's the type.
Fun.
He's the type for the moment, eh?
Yep.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he knew
Like
all
I
of a
said to you
sudden
while we're sitting here.
Yeah, that everyone was talking about him. That when William Nylander knows people are talking about him, it seems like
performs.
he just he performs.
We watched Elliot.
He gives you something more to chew on, and certainly 2 more goals. And you can make your jokes
Right
as the price
after
going
that.
up. But I just get this done so that they can put it to an end, because William Nylander doesn't show signs of slowing down.
Yeah, you hope that contract was already written. It just was requiring a signature because maybe it went up just a little bit more. Okay, let's take a look around the NHL scoreboard before we send it to the return of the Leafs Talk duo, who are back, JD Bunkus and Sam McKee. No more for us. Like, you want to hear them, not us. The NHL scoreboard is presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Okay, in the 2 afternoon games, the Flyers beat the Flames 3-2, and the Panthers beat the Avalanche 8-4. It's currently 3-3 end of regulation, Wild and Blue Jackets. The Bruins got a 7-3 victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning. Sabres 3-1 over the Penguins. The Canucks holding on to a 5-4 lead in the Hughes Bowl against the Devils. Rangers and Canadians going to overtime, actually going to a shootout through the overtime frame now. And it's 1-1 end of second, Blues and Hurricanes, and 2-2 Predators Stars end of second still to come. Oilers will host the Senators, and the Islanders will be in Vegas tonight to tangle with the Golden Knights.
All right, it could be a busy Monday before we get on the show. If William Nylander might sign a contract extension, you might find out that maybe Dennis Hildeby gets a start on Tuesday night. Lots to come, but we'll ship it over to Leafs Talk to talk about tonight's win and a West Coast road trip sweep with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee next. Thanks for listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
I'm a talker. Yeah, I'm a guy who talks, and it's also like a big time drinking season. So, I've been putting in the talking. I've been working on my talking over the Christmas break, buddy. But yeah, today it's not so much the voice working, it's the brain, where you got to start putting thoughts together beyond just angry texts I send you and my other friends.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, it's that one. Okay, so the Leafs win. They do it in dominant fashion. They just kick the Sharks' teeth in, basically wire to wire in this game. Maybe a slight little let up in the third period. Not going to really say too much about that. But hey, I guess the question to you is, did you feel it a little bit tonight? A little bit of added, I don't want to say pride, but added happiness, pleasure, something that the Leafs actually went in, saw a bad team, and beat the brakes off them the way that you would have anticipated a good team plays against a bad team.
Yeah, it's 2 in a row. They did it against Anaheim, where it was a closer game, obviously, but the Dostal kid played really well, and they
he was awesome.
by him. And then in this one, I said on Friday that maybe this is actually a bigger test than them playing good teams.
I asked you that last 2 weeks ago, and you laughed in my face.
I don't remember that, I don't remember anything. Anyways, I just was like, is this a bigger test? And they went in there and they played really well. I think the Sharks are kind of immune to that. They are really bad. There's a difference between losing to the Ottawa Senators or the Buffalo Sabres or some of these teams, the Columbus Blue Jackets, some of these teams that they've left their foot off the gas a little bit. This is a different kettle of fish or kettle of shark, to pardon the pun here. They suck. That team is awful. They have nothing. That team is going to probably be the worst team in the league. They're going to maybe get the first overall pick in the worst draft. Well, Celebrini's pretty good, and apparently he's got some San Jose connections or whatever. But that is by far the worst team the Leafs have seen all year. They are awful.
Listen, this is not to disrespect the player because I've actually met him a couple of times and he's a great dude and I actually respect his game. But when they said Ferraro is the heart and soul of the team, I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. That came on. Cuthbert dropped that one in the middle of the game and I was like, yeah, this team's not very good. I'm with you though, man. I've been saying it that this is the Leafs' new measuring stick game, right? That hey, you love seeing them elevate their game against the Bruins. You love being able to see them take care of business against the good teams. But the Leafs have had a bugaboo over this like entire stretch of these players, which has been they will lower themselves routinely to their opponent. And I get it in the 82-game season, and especially a team like this where there's just so much media attention. And also these guys know they're going to be judged based on the success of the playoffs, not the regular season anymore. But it is nice to see them just string a couple of games in a row where they never let the other team get a chance to breathe. Like there was a moment, I think there was only like a couple minutes left in the second period and the Sharks still had 5 shots. And I went, that's nice. You've got
the Sharks didn't get to play. They didn't get to play tonight.
No,
like, it was not a contest. And I don't know what the ice times ended up with tonight, but the Sharks, I mean, against the Ducks, where the top guys played like 25 minutes. This just felt like a much more of a roll all 4 lines. Everybody got involved and they just ended up with a dominant victory over a team. Like William, like I'm looking here and Tavares plays 15. William Nylander plays 15. Marner plays 17. Matthews plays 19. Like that is, when you're playing a team against that sucks and you want to give your guys a little bit of a blow because they play so much. This is the ideal scenario where you get to play all those guys under 20 minutes and you salt it away with your 4th and 3rd line.
Totally agree. And I actually think that when we're talking about being able to rest guys, that one, I know we talk a little bit too much about load management and stuff, and especially with goaltenders, but man, Marty Jones is carrying a pretty heavy load here right now. He's got to play every single game.
He just plays every night. We're going with Jonesy. Who's playing tonight? Jonesy.
Yeah,
we're going with Jonesy.
No, dude, he's like 90s Belfour, where it's just like he's in the net every single night.
72 starts for Jonesy. He's going.
Exactly. It's just, you got to pry him out of the net. I actually think that that's big for the Leafs when they play opponents like that, not to add to the wear and tear. Like, do you remember during their, I want to say it was the 2019 season when it was just whenever the backup was in net, it was just like, good luck.
Lost.
We're going to, it was just good luck. Yeah. Bad games.
That's when they were like on the cusp of missing the playoffs. Remember, that's when Babs got fired. When they had all the crappy, I mean, that's not the only reason they got fired, clearly, but they lost every second half of a back-to-back with their horrible backups to Frederick Anderson. And that's ultimately like after there was a Kaskasuo night. Remember the one we always laugh about where Malkin came down Broadway and ripped one bar down on him. They lose 8-1 in that game. And then I think it was 2 days later, Babs got fired. So the backup goalie thing, like it's always been a bug. I mean, it looks like it's going to be again now. I guess they're back is next weekend, but
they've worn down goaltenders in the past, and the style of play with this team this season has not been the Leafs of last year, right? Where they were far more defensively responsible and they didn't put their goaltenders in as many compromising positions. I like the way that the Leafs have adjusted over the last couple of games with Martin Jones and net. Basically showing a bit of maturity as a team, saying we've got to play this a little bit differently. We've got to be more engaged, and we've got to make sure that our aging goaltender that started the year as our 3rd stringer that was never supposed to be here isn't supposed to save our ass against a bad team. So I just do. I think good credit to the team for tonight's game.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that we give Jones credit too, because like in the Kings game, he was a little more busy. Ducks game, I don't know how many shots he ended up with, but he actually made a couple pretty timely saves in that one. And I thought there was a moment at the end of they're at least going to win this game, but it was 2-0 right after at the end of the second period where Yarncroc scores a gross goal on Blackwood, the one that goes through his chest. And then it comes down right at the end of the second period and they get 2 or 3 chances and he just stands tall in there. He's just making the saves he should make. He's calm. The puck hits him. He's big. He's not overplaying anything. If the puck gets by him, it's not the end of the world. He's just giving them solid goaltending. And it's just crazy how important he is. Like now they don't even play Hildeby. Like he's just like, no, we're starting a 34-year-old journeyman on the second half of back-to-back. That's what the plan is right now. So credit to Jones, but you're right. They have definitely been the best defensively in front of them over these past 3 games. No question. The teams suck.
Yeah.
Like the teams do suck. The Ducks and the Sharks suck, but they were locked down in both of those games. Even the Kings game, they were really good at.
Yeah, that's it's been noticeable for them. And man, I'm going to give Jones his flowers. Like, you know me, I'm very much a goalie guy. I will say the thing that, like, the presence of Jones is very real to me in terms of the calmness that he plays with. But the big reason for that, or one of the big reasons for that, to me anyways, outside of just his size and his positioning, is he's got great rebound control, man. Even just finds ways to chip pucks into corners, doesn't give up a ton where they just like bounce out in the slot. There was one tonight where it happened. I think it was early in the third or late in the second, where San Jose got a good chance in front of the net, and they almost, like, one popped out in the slot and Leafs players were able to clear it. And I went, man, you just don't see that a ton with this guy. He's really not busy. And I think that he suits them stylistically. He's been great for them. And I just enjoy watching him play. I genuinely do.
Like I've said on multiple shows, you see why a guy with a sub 900 save percentage got the chance to win 27 games last year. You get it.
Yeah.
You just see why coaches keep putting him back in there, because he's just like, he's a normal looking goalie.
Yeah.
Looks like a goalie.
Looks like a goalie.
He does.
By the way, just a quick thing. This means nothing, but the only shot that I saw of Dennis Hildeby tonight on the bench, he couldn't have looked more like not ready for the NHL.
He's poor. He's by himself, because it's in San Jose. I guess they just shot down to the corner. He's just.
I know.
Please God, don't get in.
Yeah. Nobody get hurt. Please don't make me go in there. That was the look. Anyways, I think that we will get to see him fairly soon here, because obviously this isn't sustainable. They're going to have to pick their spot. Well, but I did have a little feeling of what?
Their first back-to-back is next weekend. So they have, I think it's Sharks again on Tuesday. So you start Jones again in that one. I think they play on Long Island, I want to say. And then they play Saturday.
Yeah. No, they play here, right? Because the last game was in Long Island.
I feel like it's in Long Island again.
Again?
I feel like it is. Right. I maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it is. And then Avs, but then the worst day ever, Sunday back-to-back against the Red Wings on January 14th. Am I ahead of my weeks here? No, that's next week. January 14th, a Sunday night, the first weekend of NFL football. They play on a Sunday night, which is truly one of the most disgusting moves by the schedule makers. Like, I truly can't believe that's happening. But I guess
I'm triggered that I'm missing the Texans game now.
I'm dying to watch that. Like, I can't believe why. Why are they playing on the first weekend of the NFL weekend? Like, the playoffs are sacred. They're sacred.
I know.
Anyways,
it really is a travesty.
That's a start you give him, I guess, the Saturday night, because Jonesy's getting the rest of these this week, and then you guess you give it to Hildeby on the Sunday at home against the Red Wings. I don't know. Feels like they might make something.
This is what I was going to ask you. Yeah, I think that they made the right call, and Jones used to play for the Sharks, and so letting him play against his former team in front of his former fans, I think that's the right call. But watching this game, I kind of looked at it and went, do you not think about giving him a blow and starting him at home against that crappy Sharks team on Tuesday?
Yeah, honestly, I think that's pretty smart. I just do worry about, like, I know they suck, but coming first game back from a West Coast road trip, Tuesday night out of conference opponent, I would be a little worried about that game if I'm a coach, because not even just the Leafs, a lot of teams lay eggs in that game, and you don't want to. But at the same time, if you can't beat that team with Hildeby in net, then you can't. And it's not good. So I think that's a pretty smart idea. But if I had to guess, I think Sheldon Keefe likes accumulating points here, and he's liking what Jones is doing. I bet you they just go right back to Jones. I think
it's a lot. It's a lot of Jones.
Sure,
now you're talking about that's 3 more games, right? That's 3 more games.
It's a whole
and if your theory is that you're afraid that the team is going to come back and lay a bit of an egg, I'd actually rather have them lay an egg in front of Hildeby than in front of Marty Jones, and have him working his ass off and have him start the week where he's got a tough game.
Buddy, you've been off for a couple weeks. You're making some good points here. I'm agreeing. I agree. Like, you're hot. You're coming in hot. These are good. I agree. I think you're right.
I'm in the fugue state right now, dude. I honestly keep having dreams about doing my show. Like, I'll wake up and just have pure anxiety, being like, oh my God, I got to talk for hours about sports. I've been watching. Can I tell you one thing about being gone?
Yeah.
Watching Leafs games as a fan, having a beer and just not having, like, listen, I love doing this. I'm for the people. I love doing this. You're my best friend. There's no one on the planet I like talking Leafs with more. But sitting on the couch and watching that Ducks game the other night, having a few beers, beep, game off when it finished. Oh, it was heaven. Knowing you were out there carrying the workload and how it was going to go. Like, so good,
buddy. Speaking of that Ducks game, did you know that the guy who absolutely shredded that guitar solo posted me on his Instagram?
Yes, that was so great. I'm so glad he gave you the credit.
Well, he was obviously getting buried for 3 straight days, and the one guy that said something nice to him, he's like, "That guy's going on my Instagram." Anyways, we're off the rails here.
We're off the rails here a little bit. This was natural to happen because we still got some more ground to cover. But I will just say, I actually didn't really understand why it was getting shredded so hard.
Same.
I thought it was
awesome.
Yeah, I didn't. What was even the reason? Like, I felt so out of the loop on why people thought it was so crazy. My biggest takeaway was I didn't like how friendly Nyes was with Zegras before a game, where they were like, "We're best friends."
Crazy into me, bud. Zegras is how about legit? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. How much you guys hate each other? Just a little bit. Just fake it for me. I just watched the Team USA guys all be dogs, and then the 2 USA guys, it's like, hate each other. Hey, be mean. Anyways,
Zegras is cringe, as the kids say. He's extremely cringe.
He's a bit much. He is. I'm actually kind of glad Zegras is in Anaheim and that he's not like a guy that you got to deal with on the regular, like on the East Coast. Where if he was on even like the Carolina Hurricanes, I feel as though the league would just shove him down our throats even more, and it would be too much.
He has one non-Michigan goal this year. So
yeah. Face the league.
Year.
They give him the NHL cover.
Old Zeke's having a tough go.
Actually, you know what? That speaks to a Nylander thing. This is a good way to kind of segue into Nylander, because here's how we can start with the Nylander stuff. He scores a couple goals tonight. Good for him. I guess the price of the brick is going up because he scores some more goals. And our buddy James Myrtle tweeted that he's now on pace for 120 points. But every single time anybody has come up with a fake Nylander trade, it's basically the worst thing that you can have in your closet as a Leaf fan. You know what I mean? Like, it's the number one worst skeleton you can have. Because I remember people making Zegras trades with Nylander, going, well, maybe you flip him here and then get Zegras to come back here. You
Just
try
ask
to
our
get
boy
John
Kipper about that one.
Did Kipper have that one?
No, the one in the back of the day that everyone makes fun of him for. He's addressed it 100 times, but that one's the one that everyone kills him for.
Yeah, but here's the thing, dude. Everybody has had a bad Nylander trade because that's what we've done. It's just you're not as public as Kipper, and you didn't have it maybe as bad as Kipper's. Kipper's is the worst one. It's the Michael Jordan of bad Nylander.
We did a whole one this summer, like a whole with like when I was with Gunner when I was doing the morning show, and looking back on those, I'm like, these aren't very good either. Like, we had like Nicholas Waugh and somebody from them, like a depth defenseman and a pit. I'm like, oh boy, get rid of these. Scrub the internet.
No, you got to scrub the internet. You got to scrub the internet with bad Nylander trades. But when I was doing shows in the summer and we were talking about Nylander and everyone was debating whether you could pay him $10 million, that was where the goalpost was in the summertime. It was, hey, they'd like to get him on 9.5, but could it be 10? And if it's 10, do you got to trade him? And that's how these things came up. And I made the point that Chicago was going to be sitting there with a big bag of money for Nylander and that it was going to play out exactly this way because the Leafs never had any leverage. And their only hope was to try and convince this guy that Toronto represented the best place to win and that it was the place that he wanted to be. And the Leafs had to have some kind of strong belief that Nylander was going to give up some sort of dollar to try to make sure that he was going to end up staying with the Maple Leafs. Because I don't even think like a normal Nylander season would have ended up costing him way, way, way too much money. I think that he wanted those double digits like all along and that he was never going to settle for anything less. He has this great season. And now it's reported during the intermission, during Elliot Friedman's headlines, that Nylander looks like he's going to settle on something that is now near 11.5. And this contract keeps ticking up. And I got to say, I think everybody can understand this take pretty easily. Like, he's a great player. And, on a normal team, he would deserve to get paid that amount of money. I think maybe that it's still a little rich to me, even compared to any other team. Like, I think it's a little bit inflated considering it should be your entire track record as a player, not just this past year in some of the playoffs. But to feel like we're about to just be trapped in the same conversation over again about whether or not you can pay these 5 players this much of your salary cap for at least the next 2 years. And then seeing people in my mentions being like, in 4 years, the Nylander contract is going to be a steal. Like, I almost had like a panic attack reading some of these tweets, knowing that I'm just going to re-enter the Thunderdome of this take again for the foreseeable future of my life. That this is just like, it's inescapable for me.
I hate to blow smoke up your rear end, but I said you're hot already with your good ideas. The Jordan Bulls tweet of negotiations is just, it's a chef's kiss, buddy. I had to give that one a like.
Buddy, they're so good at negotiating. Like it doesn't
matter who the GM is. They're taking him to the woodshed, baby. It does not matter.
All of these guys, when they retire, should be agents. Like they should just sit. They should just sit across the table from everyone and be like, "Oh boy, did you hear who Connor Bedard hired? Oh yeah, he hired Matthews." He's like, "They're dead. He's gonna get they're dead. They're gonna pay everything."
I don't know. I see the same things in my mentions when I sent the tweet. I can't zooming out to me and just
it's insane.
Looking. It's just too much. It's just too much. It's just too much money. It's like, well, the percentage of the cap is the same as Tavares. And I was like, it's just too much money. It's just too much money. It's 8 years of 11.5 for a guy that we are all worried about. Have anybody watched sports before? Has anyone ever heard of a contract year? Like, this is crazy. A guy that, listen, let's be fair here. He had a great year last year, but there's always been motivation issues and things where people were worried about him going away and being a ghost and having these long stretches of seasons where he was not noticeable. And I'll say he cut down on them last year, which was not a contract year. And this year they have been totally gone. They've been totally gone. He's been consistent. He's had a point in every game except what, 1 or 2 this year. It's been unbelievable. But like, we're really sure this is it. This is who he is from now on. Because if that's the case, okay, I can live with 11.5. I'm not going to like it. I am definitely not going to like it or even like it's too much. But you can live with it if this is what he is. But like, what if it isn't? Then what? What? Like, that terrifies me. That part of it where it's like a guy who has been known to, been up and down and motivated. Like, well, he's had the ultimate motivation the entire season. Where now he's gotten it to the point where he's going to get paid potentially $11.5 million when we were talking about 10 or even below 10 in the offseason. I just really hope this is who he is for his sake, for Leaf fans' sakes, for everyone's sakes, because if he turns back into like inconsistent Nylander, people are going to hate him. Hate him.
I think that already this number is shifting the way a lot of people are perceiving the season. Like I'll just speak for me personally, like, watching him score the 2 goals tonight all year long, I've just been avidly rooting for Nylander goals. And I've been thinking, the number is going to be big. It's going to be an uncomfortable number. I frankly never thought it was even going to hit 11. I thought it was going to be 10-5. Tonight, seeing that report and then watching him score those goals against the Sharks and then seeing like what he's on pace for, like it didn't feel the same way. And that's the thing that happens. And it sucks because it's a byproduct of the salary cap, right?
Yep.
Like, you'd love to live in a world where you don't really care about these things, but unfortunately, like this is the world we live in. Okay, like we watch hockey, and it is a hard cap league. And what we know for a fact is that those $500,000, those $1 million, they matter. And I know they matter because the Leafs have been right up against the cap the entire time these guys have had a run. They've always been trying to find little workarounds for guys' contracts, And I think about all these people who keep talking about, well, in 3 years, it's going to be a bargain, which to me is just like hilarious. Again, trying to predict what this is going to end up looking like. But also, what about next year when Matthews' contract goes up and now Nylander is going to jump up by this much money and how they're going to fill out the rest of this roster? Like how many conversations have we had this year about, hey, here's what they might need. They might need a goalie. They might need a blue liner. They might need a center. They could use another depth winger. It's like, yeah, dude, why do you think this is the way it is? You think it's just because they have zero talent evaluation between all of these different general managers and hockey minds? It's like, no, it's because they have to work within the confines of these players. And again, so to me, it's just, I'm like Colangelo's wife, like find a new slant, I just want a new slant other than picking apart the Leafs team because it's poorly constructed around way too much money for the top guys. It's crushing to know that, like, we all knew Nylander was going to be a ruthless negotiator. Like, we all knew that, this was his dad's MO. He was very much like, no, shut up, pay me. I'm not getting sentimental. He's raised in that.
His name's coming up in the news, old Michaels.
For sure. It is a little, I will say, it stings a bit when you watch Nylander go to Sweden and be the number one star in Sweden and all the Leafs connections and the Boreas Solomon things and the Sundin things. And to know that like that stuff has no value to any of these players, right? Like none of them are kicking back $1 to stay in Toronto. They keep saying the same things where it's like, oh, we want to be in Toronto. We love the fans. We want to win here. But it's like when push comes to shove, and they got to sacrifice a little bit to play for the sweater that they claim they care about so deeply and play in the city that they love, or they say they love so much, or to, try and win a Stanley Cup. And that's their priority, is just winning. It's like it all seems to go by the wayside whenever it's contract negotiation time. And I think that there's way too many fans that just do the whole like, good for him. Like it's get the bag, King. They root for the players, they root for the contracts, and I'm just not like that. I root for the sweater, I root for the city, I root for the team.
That's well said. It's your cake and eat it too Leafs, really. Like they've gotten it all. Right? Like this is just another one of these. If this is true, like if it's and Fried is on this stuff, he's not going to go on national television and say that if it's not.
Yeah, I don't think Friedman's wrong.
No, don't think it's.
I don't think Nylander's about to pull a McDavid and be like, actually, I'm going to give $1 million back on the last day of the negotiation.
And listen, like I don't want to take away from how good Willie's been, because he's been unbelievable.
That's what sucks.
He's been
I agree.
Unbelievable. I have enjoyed watching him play this year as much as like any Matthews years and any like years I've watched a guy play. He has been amongst the most elite guys I can ever remember watching for the Leafs this season. He has been unbelievable. But you
delight every night.
You cannot measure it against this. And I guess that's what sucks with the cap. And you know my thoughts on the cap. We don't need to go down that thing. And it sucks. But like you said, they should recognize that too. And people be like, oh, the players got to get as much as they want. I get it. I get all the oppositions to what we're saying. And I know we're just two guys agreeing now. It's agree talk again. But like, just sucks that they just are getting taken to the woodshed again. That's it.
That's
I don't know what else to say.
Well, like they're not going to complain about it because I don't think that these guys really seem to care about it right now. But I do think that there's a window here, or a sliding door where these guys will look back on their careers and go, "Hey, your legacy was the dudes who got paid all the money." So it's like, oh, it's awesome that you have the money. I'm sure you're not going to regret taking too much of it. But it's like most players, when they get to the ends of their careers and they start taking the hometown discounts and they're trying to chase rings because they feel that little tinge of regret of not trying to do a little bit more to win, that could end up being the way that these guys get remembered. So it's just, it's a something.
So guess what, buddy? Now that that's potentially going to get signed this week, get ready for what does this mean for Marner? Woohoo!
Yeah, I know.
Here we go, baby. Yeah. Dial it up for another one. Let's go.
It would be so easy too, right? Like it would just, it just like, I hate it.
But Marner's the Toronto guy. He'll definitely take less.
Yeah, no. And that's what happened last time. He took so much less. Yeah. Well, actually the funny one to me is everyone going, well, don't worry, because it's all going to work out because Tavares will come off the books and then they're going to get him on a hometown discount. Well, I'm like,
he'll take less.
Yeah,
right?
But what?
He'll take less for sure. After scoring 65 points, he'll definitely take nothing.
But I don't think that's the thing. I don't think that he'll take nothing. He'll take a huge pay cut, but
I'm being sarcastic here.
I know, I get you. I'm just saying that he's also going to be 2 years older.
Yeah.
Like he'll probably be a winger at that point. And so the Leafs are going to have to use that cap space to go find centermen. Like, I don't know. It's kind of annoying when you see all the people that try to feel like they've got this thing figured out. And it's like, I think Brandon Pridham is tearing his hair out trying to figure it out. And yet a lot of Leaf Twitter is like, don't worry, 4 years from now, I'm going to love the Leafs. 4 years from now, buddy.
Well, the kids, he can't sleep at night. They're like, everyone's like, it's fine.
Dude, it's like when I was a little kid, I remember my uncle bought me the Secret of the Ooze Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah.
And I wasn't allowed to watch it. My uncle called to be like, did you get my gift? And I was like, yeah. And mom says I get to watch it when I'm 10. I was like, that's me. Or that's all the Leaf fans that are just stoked on building these fantasy teams about the Leafs that are like 4 years in the future when they've got all this like added cap space or that the contracts look great. And meanwhile, when Matthews is going to be like on his contract year, in a contract year.
It's just never ending. It's just never ending, isn't it? No, it's always
we're never escaping it.
It's always
all right.
And then McDavid and Draisaitl will both be like, okay, here's 8 million and we're 10 million and we'll sign for 8 years like good boys, and everywhere else they'll just do what they always do. And here they're like,
or the Leafs miss out on being able to sign McDavid because they locked all these guys up in their contracts. He wants to come home, but they just can't. They can't make it work.
I had a quick thing for you, and we didn't get a chance to talk about this. And I know you love them, so I want to talk about it. Sharks unis.
They're the nicest in all of hockey.
What a rebrand. They're unbelievable. I love them. They're so nice. And
I found myself mesmerized multiple times tonight.
They're really good. It wasn't by their play, that's for sure, but it was definitely by what they look like. And it's just, I like teams that have the non-traditional hockey colors and do it well. For those ones are amazing, right? Like, but they're not blue, they're not red, they're not black, they're not like, they're just like a non-traditional color that's not like candy ass. You know, they just look really good.
Dude, they've nailed it. And you know, a lot of, like, you even think about that color with, like, hey, the Charlotte Hornets, for example, and how many times the Hornets have blown their jerseys and not been able to, like, maintain that cool, crisp look of the Sharks have. The Sharks, out of all those, like, 90s expansion teams, they've just done the best job at not doing it in a weird and crappy, corny way. It always looks terrific. It's a beautiful, beautiful sweater. It's like, it truly is one of my favorites. And I wish in all of sports. And there's something about when they play the Leafs, like the aesthetic of, and maybe it's because I'm a Leaf fan and I like the Leafs sweater, so maybe it's that. But when these two teams play each other, it's like when the Leafs play the Red Wings. It just fits my eye where I'm like, God, this looks so good. I want to just see this on my TV.
There's only one thing I would say that I wish once in a while teams would do, like in the NFL where they wear different colored pants. I would love to see this with a black helmet and black pants. Just to have a look at it, see what it would look like, because I think it would be really nice as well. But I love the all teal look. They look good. Too bad they suck so bad because those jerseys are unbelievable.
Anything else?
I'm good, buddy.
Okay.
Glad to be back.
I heard
nice to see your face again.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. I saw Ailish do her impression of me with Smash the Like button.
She did.
And all I got to say to that is, hey, Ailish, thank you for watching all of these shows. Like, we always do it at the very end. So, you know, thanks for watching. Nice to see you, Ailish. Nice to see everybody here that, you know, has been watching, and make sure that you hit that thumbs up. Make sure that you do hit that subscribe. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at JD Bunkus, at Sammy McKee. And we will see you on Tuesday night against this very same Sharks squad.
Great. Exciting.
Yeah.
Full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage, I'm going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick homes are built with upgraded features and elevated finishes. Chef-inspired kitchens, spa-like en-suites, and a fully finished lower level. Even better, Williamsburg Green has parks, playgrounds, and trails to explore. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Take two in a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think two in a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM.